All right, greetings everyone. Let's go ahead. Give me a second. Check my camera. Looks like we are good. Oh, wait a minute. My light is not on. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, and let the camera adjust. Let the camera adjust. There we go. That's the image I want to see. Let's get it cracking. Hope all of you have been having an absolutely fantastic week. Mine has been all right. I have no complaints whatsoever. I changed my mind. Originally, we were going to go to what's this freaking place? We were going to go to Northfield, but actually, I realized that when Defiance Bay shut down, I had left a couple of things undone. So I actually want to go back to Defiance Bay, clean up some of that, and then we'll go ahead and get finished with more of that in-game content. Because I also just realized that I spent the whole game without the armor that I really wanted Eder to have, which is deeply unfortunate, but it is what it is. He's been a beast regardless, holding things down. But once I get this armor, he's going to be even better for me. So, definitely want to do that quest. And right now, I want to also go over to the Doz's headquarters because why are we hearing a whole bunch of screams and voices when there's nobody actually there rioting? Oh, that's right. And there's these vendors here. I don't remember if I bought everything for these vendors that I was supposed to. Show me your wares. Blunder blush, blunder blush, nothing here. Okay, cool. And then the moms, what's going on? Glad you didn't make the stream. My housemate caught COVID, so we've been in a self-imposed lockdown. That sucks. Yeah, my wife has had to be on lockdown a couple of times because of me getting COVID. And in fact, I had to be on lockdown once 'cause she got COVID out in Mexico. I felt so bad for her. I felt so bad for her. She was not a happy camper when that went down. So I absolutely know what you're going through, man. But I hope all of you get get through this quickly and safely. Dagon, what's going on? Glad you didn't make the stream. Hello. Good luck tomorrow, son. Chris, what's going on, brother? Happy Founders Day to you as well, man. I'm gonna have to give you a call tomorrow if I get a chance. In fact, I may not be able to give you a call tomorrow. I'm actually going to the football game, but the day after, I'll have to chop it up with you. Daz is so far just heading to the chemist to buy some rats. RITs. What's that? Nothing here. Oop, oop, oop. Trade that. No, and then there. I realized I actually earlier today I went through some of the inventory to check on everything I had and realized that I do not have enough deflection items or protection items. And now that I have a lot more money, seems like every 200 years someone tries to burn this city down. At least I won't be around the next time it happens.
Hello.
Anything particular you'd like to see? Yeah, okay. Um, yeah, I don't have enough deflection or protection items, so I'm trying to pick those up as we go along through here. We'll see if I can get some more. And let's see if the does this have anything interesting to say and what their vendor has to say. Argo, what's going on? Glad you're able to make it. How are you doing tonight? I can't stay long since I have overtime early tomorrow, sadly. No problem. I completely understand. Glad you're able to make the stream, man. I got absolutely no complaints. Nothing special going on with me. Same old, same old. Scars cover Wyndham's arms, and he sports a purpling eye, but the grin on his face is nothing short of triumphant. Finally, we all see what those animancers and their lackeys in the Crucible Keep are really up to. It was only a matter of time. What was your part in the riots? Uniting the city against the Knights, of course. They made their intentions clear when their pet animancer assassinated the Duke. He shakes his head. Lots of blood in the streets. Shame to lose so many good men and women, but we had to act. Winning casually nods your way. His eyes continue to float from mercenary to mercenary as he speaks. What else do you need? Farewell. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's really, really not what I wanted. All right, whatever. So we can go to the main group, which is in here, and then go to the quartermaster. Oh, rapid antigen test. Got you, got you. Okay, to just check on yourself. I understand. Oh, no leader here. Okay. No, don't spend money. You might run out. Nah, I'm not running out anytime soon. I got 110,000. I am all good when it comes to money. Show me your wares. Show me your wares. Plus, I feel like, except for like a last portion of White March, I have been through just about all of the games. So I don't think I'm supposed to run into any more like really good vendors. I think all the other good items, I'm going to have to find them and loot them. But we'll see. Three, Ian, what's going on? How are you all doing? Glad you're able to make the stream. Boom, doom, doom, doom. I don't need to go there. Don't need to go there. Nope, we can go ahead and leave. Boom, boom, So what I specifically want to get to is I want to check the Crucible Keep. I want to check whatever that criminal family is, because I don't remember if you end up not siding with them, do they end up getting killed? Are they even still among the living? So I'm just curious about that. And then I think there was a quest in the Valian embassy that I completely forgot to do last time around. Like, I think you have to talk to him after doing Palagina's quest, but then talk to him again to get this new quest. And then that should have the armor that I'm looking for. Raymond, Domino, and then that's Andra's gift. Okay. Hadron House, we already searched through there. We know there's nothing there. So yeah, House Domino. Let's see what's going on with them. Nah, you're not. This game has a point where money is useless. I think you're about there. Yep. I figured as much. Bristlefoss, what's going on? Glad you're able to make the stream. I have absolutely no complaints. How are you doing? I'm grossing myself out. That's how I'm doing. Oh, wow. So what is it this time? Oh, so y'all are still alive.
Hail and well night.
The guard glances to the street behind you. Just you, eh? Can't be too careful these days.
Hail and well night.
What business do you have with the dominoes? Farewell. I will see you out. Damn, it's like that, huh? I should attack y'all just off general principle, but you know what? Just gonna let it go. We're gonna go ahead and let him see us out. We're not gonna take it personally. The housemate that initially caught it works at a hospital. Ooh, so ironically, because of the essential service, they can make him come back to work even if he is still testing positive, which is insane. Which is absolutely insane. Like, all throughout COVID, it has sucked, in my opinion, being part of an industry that was considered essential. I mean, on the one hand, it's nice to at least still have a job, because a whole lot of people didn't get to keep their jobs at all. So that's absolutely a blessing. But outside of that, the way that they could just point fingers and say, oh, we're going to force you to do this. You got to do this. You have to put yourself at risk. You have to put everybody else at risk so that we can continue to profit. Come on now. He shakes his head. Watch your step in there today. Every man and woman in there is mourning fallen comrades, and some of them are just looking for an excuse. Woo, rough. I am so sorry, y'all. I really meant to side with y'all on this. Just working on some new tracks. Got to finish the song before Sunday or I don't get paid. Hey, I understand that feeling. So what do you do for a living? So the second war of the night, we are being invaded by shadow demons that wanted to consume everything and let their mother out of her prison. Bloodlock lost the city, and to get it, there's so many in here. One of them is in here. Here we go. Seda. Say it looks like she's had a bath, a few square reels. Okay, what about Wyla? I don't understand. Do those blockheads really mean to take over patrolling an entire city? Her gaze is distant and empty. That wasn't even a battle. It was slaughter. Rough, 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 rough. This was not what was best for the city. I am so sorry, y'all. So sorry. Our government at least put in place a bunch of measures to keep people afloat during the worst of it. They just ended the last of the measures. Apparently, COVID is over. Yeah, that didn't happen in the U.S. They just let those businesses fail, and it's honestly, it's sad and it's terrifying. It's terrifying to know that thousands of people across the country were so deeply impacted, and the government just said, hey, y'all, lots of luck. Like the amount of people who basically lost their dreams, lost their entire life savings, lost their business that they had spent years building up, while at the same time watching these people in power still gathering together in large groups, still essentially living their lives the way that they had always wanted to. It's sad. It's sad, bro. And this is coming from someone who, I'm not like a COVID denier. I got vaccinated, like I absolutely believed social distancing, vaccination, and all that was necessary. I also believe it was necessary for the government to step in and provide assistance and support to these people whose lives were basically upended by what happened. Like, if the government cannot assist in this situation, what is the point? What is the purpose? Nah. Our city falling down around our heads, and those damn fools from the dozens attack us in the streets. I'd like to hang every last one of them. Whoa, I really didn't want to side with the dozens. I did not want to side with the dozens. I'm actually a little annoyed that the game doesn't make it clear when you are siding with a particular group. Definitely coming up in my review. I have 3 jobs. I'm a teacher by day, then I do music and run D&D games as side jobs. You can have a job where you're running D&D games? Didn't know that. That sounds amazing. I always thought that's something you had to just do for free for the love of it. For the love of it. That's awesome, dude. Back, we resurrected a T who was the 3rd child of the Shadow Gods and enslaved him. Used his might to reclaim the city, and after War of the Night, the NPC dictator of Bloodlock, Drake Losan, the spider goddess blood at her funeral because she was killed. She arose and became the god of tyranny. So the first act he did was summon Adi out of the desert and lift him up in the skies before stretching him across the desert so that the sun doesn't hurt them. The lore of this game you play is always, always fascinating. The bottom of Dunstan's beard is singed away, and he smells of burning hair. Even I didn't believe the dozens would go that far. Now we know what we're up against. Woo, I am so sorry, y'all. It was, shouldn't have. Reminds me of when Amazon was going around saying that we were an essential service. At least we kept our jobs, but heaven forbid COVID impacted their bottom line, especially when they got so much business. Amazon enjoyed having an even greater monopoly on stuff and selling things. Yep. It's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. Dagon, I did not mean to side with the dozens, but the game did not provide a clear cutoff saying, hey, if you do this quest, if you turn it into the dozens, you will in fact side with them. So the whole time I wanted to side with the Crucible Knights, and turns out no. It didn't let me. So kind of irritated about it, but not irritated enough to go back and redo everything I did beforehand. So it just is what it is. The game staying on topic right now. It's not a lot of money, but it helps. Every little bit helps. I understand. And now we can pull off pieces of a T to fight. Use them as weapons. Good Lord. Man, you messed up. You messed up bad. Yeah, tell me about it. I really, really intended to side with the Crucible Knights. I don't understand why they put me in this situation. These dear ones are mad. Their duke is murdered, and so they nearly burned down the city? He raised his hands and looks to the ceiling. Such scoia'dary. It will be a relief to return to Ozia after this. Palagina said you can use my help with something. Of course. Word has reached my ears how you crossed blades with the Dominoes, and yet here you are still. Quite impressive. Rosano was most fortunate you came along. But on to business. A rather notorious adventuring party calling themselves the Forgotten have made a name for themselves by raiding Ingwithan ruins in the Deerwood and selling the stolen relics to their patrons back in the Valian Republics. I need them stopped. I'm sure you're aware that trading Ingwithan relics is strictly forbidden in the Deerwood. Word known that prominent nobles in the Republics were flagrantly defying the Duke's ban on the looting of Ingwithan ruins. It would put a number of valuable trade agreements in jeopardy, or even cause Defiance Bay to embargo Valian goods. I can't let that happen. Why not just have the Forgotten killed? He shakes his head. I hear the town criers now. Valian ambassador hires assassins. No, that option is too risky for me. The authorities in Defiance Bay have no idea this smuggling is going on. I'm sure rumors have reached their ears, but if they suspected that there was any truth to them, they'd have summoned me before them. That hasn't happened yet. I'll help. What do you need me to do? He smiles in relief. Thank you. A prominent merchant in the Republics, Mestre Barcolzo, has also developed an interest in obtaining Ingwithan relics and sent a buyer to Defiance Bay to meet with the Forgotten. I arranged for the Knights of the Crucible to detain the buyer for questioning. I may have suggested that the buyer was a wanted criminal. I'll need you to go in the buyer's place, posing as Borkazi's representative, and learn how the Forgotten are smuggling the relics through Defiance Bay. With that knowledge, I can take steps to discreetly dismantle their operation and discredit them in the eyes of their patrons. If there's nothing else, I must return to my duties. Farewell. All right, head to the bridge, head to the bridge. To be fair, that's life. Nobody's going to let you play three sides for quest money, then tell you, hey, this is the cutoff point. Yeah. I understand. I'm still irritated. I'm still irritated. I did not appreciate, because I was doing everybody's quest. So I was like, oh, this is working great. You know, XP here, a little bit of money here. And then at some point, I'll be able to make like a final decision that'll decide which group I side with. Didn't feel like that happened at all. I sided with the dozens, I think. Anarchy, baby. Is there a way you could just side with no one? Like you can go murder Hobo and the dozens, kill the entire faction, prevent them? I don't think you can like wipe out all the factions, but I believe it is possible for you to decide to go at your own. But I think there's like negative impacts from that. Because basically you need them in order to get the meeting with the king. The man's hand rests lightly on the hilt of his flail as you approach. Does the lie? Mestre Barkazi sent me. Or it says, you don't have to lie. Interesting. What's your business with us? Does the name Barkazi mean anything to you? Yes, you're late, and we hate to be kept waiting. Don't let it happen again. Now on to the details of our arrangement. There's a loose plank on the southern end of the docks in Andra's gift, near that sunken ship. Leave the payment there. Gems and coins only. Gems, preferably. They're much easier to carry than sacks of coin. Right. We'll take the payment and replace it with Ingwithan relics of slightly lesser value. I say lesser because we have to take our own fee first. We're doing all the work and taking most of the risk. After all, there you have it, clean and simple. Any questions? How do you know which relics are valuable? I'm quite knowledgeable about the Ingwithan culture. If I say something is valuable, it is. And Varian hasn't been wrong yet either. Tell your master not to worry about us selling him junk. You've managed to keep this arrangement going without ever being caught? Yep. The Valian ambassador, Agasti, knows about us and is trying to shut us down. He's not as smart as he thinks he is, and besides, our patrols in the Republics are more powerful and influential. We don't have anything to worry about. Don't the Glanfathers get upset when they catch you looting in Gwithan ruins? The elven woman sneers. If we do get caught, which doesn't happen often, we make sure the Glanfathers don't stay upset for very long. Witnesses are inconvenient. How do I know you won't just take the money and leave nothing in return? This arrangement works for Mestre Focelio. It works for Mestre Ross. You don't like the deal? Walk away. I don't have any more questions. Good. Give us about a week and we'll have something for you. Uh-oh. Bad news, Orimnath. Bakal's barrier isn't coming. Looks like the Knights took him in for questioning. My guess is Agasti is behind it. So, what's going on here? Who's this? He stares at you, his gaze hardening. Good question. Attack. All right. Wow, girl, this mess up. Kind of like it. The ever dark heavens finally rift was host of the best. Good Lord, that sounds ridiculous, 3. Been a while since I've seen anyone play Pillars of Eternity. What's going on, RC? Glad you were able to make the stream. Yeah, I like playing TRPG, so I'm doing Pillars of Eternity now, and when this is over, I'm probably going to head straight into Deadfire. I've really been enjoying it. Screwed over by gamer brain. Basically, I won't deny it. Head how they put your league hair out front like that. It screws over casters. Yes, look at where I am right now. Eder is behind me. Like, come on, y'all. Come on. This dude is about to run up and light me up. There's no question about it. Murder Hobo and entire facts is probably a bad idea. It's proven by endurance. The plane of life was infected by Shadow, and they went in and killed the whole faction guarding the gate of Shadow, because allowing the Shadow demons to invade, because they thought killing the Guardians would help somehow. Losing track of what's important. Murdering entire factions is a bad idea. I see. All right. Move you back. No. You know what? This is something else that really upsets me. We are now level 13. The max level in this game is 16. Why is Durant still casting Armor of Faith? This is a level 1 buff. Why do I have to manually have him cast a buff that actually works for me? Good Lord. Good Lord. Okay. You're doing that. You're doing this. It's not really what I want you to do, but it's fine. Eder is running up, so you know what? We're going to start with some frightening for all of you. And we're going to do some of this for him. No, I'm sorry. He needs to still run back. Then he can do this. And then he can come here. There we go. You, wherever you are getting hit up. Mm-hmm. You're still using old buffs, I see. Champions, boom. We'll put that on him. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they didn't like that at all. They didn't not appreciate that in the least bit. There we go. And Eder, you can come all the way over here. There you go. Excellent. And it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. And where's, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Where's what I'm looking for? There we go. Woo, I can't believe I've been playing this game the whole time and didn't give him this damn armor. I didn't even remember this. Sanguine Plate. The damage recovery is not as good as White Crest armor. So what? We're still doing this. Oh! It's pretty. It's so pretty. Look at how it all matches. The Redfield Shield, Shatterstar. Oh, it just, excellent. Absolutely excellent. So we're going to make this exceptional because it's an exceptional piece of armor. I don't remember which attribute bonus we want for this. Proof. I guess burn? Whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then we're going to get some White Forge going to reduce that armor penalty. And there we go. Which attribute do you need, bruh? I don't remember. Do you have your rings? Okay, so you've got the +3 resolve. You've got a ring of protection. You got deflection. Your neck is will, but that's not your permanent neck slot. You got +3 might, speed, and healing bonus. What is supposed to be in your neck slot long term? I do not remember. One moment. For your neck, I wanted to put on the... Where is that freaking thing? Head, chest, gloves, cape. There we go. You are supposed to get the Cloak of the Tireless Defender. Cloak of the Tireless Defender gives him what bonus? Cloak of the Tireless Defender. That is going to give him, that's for endurance. It's going to increase your recovery time. It does not give you an attribute. So you have might, you have resolve, and that's it. I could give you constitution, but yeah, your constitution is already 16. I could give you dexterity. Okay, we got good options here. So enchant, attribute bonus, and we got some +2 options. You could have a +2 on perception. I'm going to give you a +2 on dexterity. I'm comfortable with that. And there we go. And now that part is full. Now, what is this one? Okay, not enough materials for that. So it's already that. You need a Vithrak brain. I'm not going to white forge this, but I do want it to be exceptional. I have to upgrade that at a later time. Okay, let's go back to the Valiant Embassy and turn in this quest. Hate that. Hate when my games pull my caster out front. Yeah, it's super annoying. It's super annoying. Bad design. Maybe you could just position somehow. I already have a formation that puts my caster all the way in the back. They don't care about formations when you're in a conversation. That is why I play turn-based whenever possible. Me too. I love turn-based games, but unfortunately, it's not an option here. I know it is an option in Deadfire, but I also know that Deadfire was created with real-time with pause in mind. So I don't know if turn-based actually works well in that game. Like it works really well in Wrath of the Righteous because that was built from the ground up for you to be able to switch between the two. Well, it'll be interesting to see whether or not Deadfire feels as seamless. The game is telling you it wants your mages to cast first and all be melee warriors whose magic is the power of imagination, basically. Or, you know, honestly, when I was reading about builds, what I kept reading is everybody seems to feel like the mage weapons are fantastic. You know, they can summon staves and other weapons to be in their hands and then use those. I've just never liked that play style. If you're a mage, I want you casting. I have warriors and fighters who I want to be up front. I like variety in my party members. I don't want everybody doing the same thing. You've brought me good news, I hope. I met with the Forgotten, but it didn't go quite like you planned it. Oh, you weren't able to learn anything about their smuggling operation then? It was going well, but then they discovered I wasn't really Barkosi's representative. I see. I'm glad you survived the experience. He rubs his chin. I had hoped that I could resolve the situation with subtlety, but what's done is done. I have no idea what may come of this, but that's my problem, not yours. Take these gems as payment for your service. If there's nothing else, I must return to my duties. Farewell. All right, now another thing. Diplomat. What?
And what a simple test.
All right. I don't remember not getting that, but hey, we have it now. And there's nothing else. 3, problem is your PC walks forward to talk to them, so you step out of formation. Yep, that's exactly what was happening. Then that actually literally is bad game design. Yep, it is. Thankfully, this is the only time it comes up that I can remember. So, so what I do to usually get around that is if I thinking about it and I remember it, I tell Eder, I start the conversation with Eder, and then Eder is the one out front, and then you don't have to worry about that. But I wasn't even thinking that, hey, they're going to put my guy out front and the fight is going to start at that particular time. So I didn't even worry about it. I generally prefer to play real time and set and forget the party members so I can just focus on what the PC is doing. That's awesome as well. I really enjoyed that play style in Dragon Age. It was fantastic because you had that whole tactic system, which they did a really great job with. And actually, Deadfire, like I played when it first came out, and it had a very good tactic system. I seem to remember feeling like it wasn't quite as good as what was in Dragon Age, but it's miles better than the crap that's available
Gods keep
here.
you.
Rodfinger, Cloak of the Tireless Defender. There we go. Ooh, Vithrak Brain. I needed that. Excellent, excellent. What else? Anything else? Anything interesting? Nope. Okay. And Eder. There you go, bro. Will 9. Is there anybody else who's missing there? She's got a Cloak of Protection. And she's got Deflection +5. Let's give her that Deflection +9. We really need the braces, but we don't have that right now. And I'm sorry, go back here. Enchant. Now you should. Exceptional. There we go. Exceptional. All right, so now we're out of rubies and Riffrack Brains. I haven't seen any rubies around. Maybe we'll be able to find them. Who else weapon? You've got a soulbind weapon. Plus, you're probably like never using your weapon, so I'm not really worried about that. I am kind of worried about yours. Are you exceptional? No, you are not. So we need to get you up to exceptional. We'll give you a burning lash. We'll give you beast slaying for the dragon. We have leftover Durgan steel? I didn't realize we had more Durgan steel available. Is it worth giving you a Durgan steel weapon? Plus 15 attack. Well, to be fair, again, if this was turn-based like in Wrath, someone can win initiative and run out and hit your maze 8 times, killing them instantly, and you just wouldn't be able to do anything. This is true. Yeah, the Lauren Ayatollah is nuts. Well, someone was actually infected by shadow gods all along. That's why she betrayed blood and let the shadow demons in order the shadow gods can infect people and cause them to fight for her. It is and other continents have different gods than Sapiens, which is the mainland. And they're incomprehensible as well, like Cthulhu. Crazy. Crazy. I can see how long this game has been around. Not that I speak from personal experience, excuse me. Gonna flip a table for unrelated reasons. Nice. I would use real time with pause more often, but the problem is the AI is usually stupid. The only real issue I have with real time with pause is when you target a spell, but the enemies move before the casting animation finishes. I hate that. Hate that. Hate that. All right, let's see. Ooh, she's missing a ring slot. So she has the deflection bracer, but not the ring. Did we buy a protection ring? I don't remember. But I'm not seeing one here, so I'm going to go off and say no, we didn't. Okay, so we still need more of those protection rings. But she's got deflection. Yeah, your slots need more work. Okay, Raven Wing. I think we're going to go ahead and stick with this for her. I don't see any reason to switch it up. She is supposed to do decent damage. It's probably worth putting some Durgan steel on her. This is already... Did we put the Durgan... Yep, so this is Durgan reinforced. And then I also want his... It already has the fine. Oh, yeah, we need to run through this. All right. Yeah, I'll give you some burn proof, bro. No problem. All right. Yeah, I'll run through the armors at another time. For now, let's go ahead. And now we can go back to whatchamacallit. You don't do real-time pausing? Why not? You said it's too frustrating. So what, you prefer just straight up turn-based, or you just always let real-time just run? You don't bother with pausing? We'll do North Wheel. So we'll do North Wheel, we'll do Hylia's temple, and then we will do the burial isle, because I think you can go there and clear that area, but not drop down into the pit where the end of the game is. And then we will have to come back around, get that druid and get the ranger, finish up their quest in the burial isle and North Wheel respectively. And then we finish up the rest of Endless Paths. Because I figured we might as well... My formation does not look correct. What is going on with that formation? Okay, no, it is correct. They just taking their sweet time getting right into place. Okay, cool. Wolf leader. Interesting. We'll go ahead and freeze you and then see what happens. Why are you not doing anything, man? Oh, crap. I was about to say, are they all out of there already? All right. Excellent.
Light, flame, and sound.
Arrows crude and fletched with bright feathers protrude from this corpse. Tracks long and shallow head east. They're spackled with blood. Can I pick up anything from this guy? Nope. Okay. Track the Deerwooden expedition to the eastern edge of the Northfield Wilderness at the mercy of the tribe. Oh. This is that chick who wanted us to find her tribesmen and warn them or help them, and then she would be on the way soon. She said she would meet us out here. I remember now. The inscriptions on this altar are almost unreadable under a layer of thick moss. Pay homage to Hylia. I don't have a preference. I think some games work better in real time, some turn-based. I think Wrath of the Righteous was better in turn-based, but I did Deadfire in real time. To be fair, on my main Deadfire save, my build makes precision in combat completely unnecessary. Deadfire is slower, though. Yep, Deadfire is slower than this game. They definitely had a change in style. Oh, that's not the very top of the map. I was about to say, I thought when we first came here, the map looked huge. So I'm watching this in between watching Severance with my she keeps getting calls for family. So I watched this while she was dealing with family pet trauma. No problem, man. Everybody enjoys the stream in different ways. The track and Bloodstains continue further east. How is Severance, actually? I keep hearing that that's a really good show. Whoa. I hate how the camera just moves for no reason for sometimes. Like, I did not click over there, so why'd it go all the way over there? Whoa, why is this there? The spear, broken in half, has ornate Glanfathan etches along the two halves of his shaft. The wet wood shows dents stained green with moss, probably from impacts against the river's rocks. The tracks and bloodstains continue further east. Oh, you can go across here. Okay, cool. Boar, young boar. But there's nothing here. Okay. I prefer turn-based, actually. I prefer something where I directly control the actions, such as Skyrim. But sometimes CRPGs have an interesting enough storyline that it catches my attention. So in those cases, I do turn-based. Do you play any other types of games? Like, I love CRPGs, but my favorite games of all time are Final Fantasy and Persona 5. I love the Final Fantasy series. Definitely plan to play the new Final Fantasy when it comes out. And I might even play some of the older Final Fantasies. So I started around Final Fantasy 8. I know people keep saying that Final Fantasy 7 is supposed to be the best one. I never played it. And I have not played the rebooted version of it yet. So I can't comment on that, but definitely big fan of Final Fantasy. I have not played any other Persona games, so I can't comment on those at all. I've heard about them, but I just don't know anything about them. Resolve the stalemate between the Deerwood Expedition and the Fangs. No problem. Fangs.
Tread carefully, Estramore.
Used to play a lot of real-time strategy, kind of the same skill set. Yeah, I never can get into real-time strategy games just because I'm so story focused, but I have a lot of respect for them. I understand why people enjoy them so much. Again, catch your stream live. Work lurk here, but thanks for making mornings much easier. My pleasure, Edson. Glad you enjoyed the stream. Real-time with Paul's games could definitely benefit from the slow-mo button like the Total War series has. It is the saying, like, I haven't had a show made me this uncomfortable ever. Ben Stiller is an amazing director. Really? Okay. Man, I might have to try to take it out. Your voice will be effing amazing to see here in games, to be honest. Thank you. That's definitely going to be a focus for me next year, trying to figure out what are some ways where I can do more voice work and try to get involved in more voice acting. Would love to see you stream the MMO. XIV is the best one for sure, story-wise. I keep hearing that as far as MMOs go, that one is actually really good, and that it seems like a lot of people are still enjoying it. Got to replay 6. I remember nothing for it. The best Final Fantasy is always the first one you played. In my case, it was Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X is up there. As someone who started at 8, Final Fantasy X, like it's pretty much neck and neck for me with the top one. And honestly, I don't feel like the ones that have come after, even though they've been enjoyable, they've been cool games, they've been good games, I don't feel like they've really compared to 8 and 10. To me, 8 and 10 are still at the very top. 7, 8, and 10. Lost interest after that, sadly. Right. See, that was the creme de la creme. Persona 5 comes to PC this month, just in case you might want to play it. Free on Microsoft. Woo, is that right? Okay. So, if I remember correctly, somebody else on the channel told me that Persona is the type of game where you don't have to have played the previous ones in order to be able to enjoy the next one, right? So I can play Persona 5 even though I haven't played any of the previous ones? Or do you really need to go through the whole series one by one in order to be able to actually appreciate Persona 5? A fellow Final Fantasy VIII lover? Absolutely. Absolutely. Squall? Lionheart? Come on. Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. SIV is amazing. The last 2 expansions are the best storyline I've experienced in any media, full stop. Wow. Okay. Okay. I heard good things about Tactics as well, Dagon. But I'm confused about what's supposed to be the difference between Tactics and XIV. Like, I don't know what's going on there. I've only played like the straight up RPG ones. I met my girlfriend through Final Fantasy 14. Really? Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. My first Final Fantasy was 13, which most people say is like the worst ever, but I still appreciate it. Yeah, it wasn't really my cup of tea, but you know, I could definitely see if you had never played a Final Fantasy game before, if you compare that to just other RPGs in general, you probably still enjoy it. But of course, in my mind, I'm comparing it to the Final Fantasies that come before, and I'm like, it's not living up to snuff. Yeah, and Persona 5 is the best one so far. Really? Wow, okay, so it's a great way to jump in. That's interesting. I'm going to say I like Final Fantasy X too. Girl Band Adventures have a good combat system. It did. A lot of people like to trash that game, but honestly, I found it to be hilarious. Like, there are a couple of times where I felt uncomfortable playing it. Like, really? Really? Did they have to make it this girly? But I wanted to see Titus's story continue so badly that I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and play it. Because I went through and did everything I had to do for the secret ending to make sure that I was able to see that on my screen. And I got that, and I was like, hey, it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it. An elven woman stands beside a stag, petting the great beast on its neck. As you approach, the animal jerks its head in your direction and rears up. Stillness, the woman orders the stag, pulling on the skin of the stag's neck until it ceases to buck. Easy now. No need to fight. Yet. She turns to face you. One ear is missing its top half, and many battle scars raise her otherwise smooth skin. More foreigners, more unclean feet trampling on our lands, more blood to feed the trees. You should not be here, Estremor. Her hand moves to one of several blades strapped to her hips. If you are here in our lands, it is either to steal from us or to aid those who would. She gestures to the north, at the ruins of Ingwithan buildings protruding from the underbrush. Dear wooden mercenaries, looters. Can you hear their panic whispers? Leave this place at once, or we will kill you when we finish with these Estremorn. I'm a friend of Erglan Foth. She holds her gaze on you. The great stag stomps its front hooves on the ground and turns to its master. Do you speak the truth, foreigner? If you are indeed a friend, you will respect our lands and not defile our sacred soil with your trespass. The woman clenches her jaw. Its muscles quiver under the pressure until, suddenly, calm returns to her expression. If you have no bonds of kin or kith with the looters, I will give you a chance to prove it. She draws one of her swords and with a swift arcing motion points it to the ruins beyond. The invaders must be purged from our lands. Prove your worth, and we will believe your words. Tell me about these mercenaries. Raiders, looters, same as all other dear wooden thieves that pillage our lands. The woman touches the oblique stub where half of her ear used to be. We tracked the dear woodens from their first step beyond the great river and waited for them to err. They always do. We claimed half their pack in our first assault. The cowards that ran now huddle to the north. When the wind turns, you will smell their fear. If they surrender, will you let them live? Softness such as yours will not bring them to heal. Their greed knows no bounds. Their memory honors no history. What use have we of prisoners? What example do we set to others by letting them live? She shakes her head. Why would we forgive again? I want to ask you about something else. Why don't you deal with them yourself? The woman runs a finger along her lower lip, looking at you through narrowed eyes. I gave you an order. Accept it like a grown hunter, or refuse it like a mewling child, but do not question my will. I'll see what I can do. The elven woman sheaths her sword and reaches to her stag. The animal lowers its head to meet the caresses of her hand. Gentle, strong. We wait here to welcome you back as warrior and friend. Let's see. Anything over here? Nope, we're good. Okay. Mercenary rogue, mercenary rogue. Stop, friend or foe. The man in blood-soaked armor points his blade at you as his wounded and weary comrades flock into position behind him. Comparing XFIV to MMOs is a mistake. It's an RPG first and an MMO second. Really? That's interesting. Final Fantasy VI is my favorite in the series, but 7 is a close second. Still favorite PS2 GARPG for me is between Xenogears and Grandia for me. I've never played either one. XIV is an MMO. It is really an RPG first. So what does that mean when you say that you feel like it's an RPG first and an MMO second? I would argue that it is an amazing MMO, honestly. I played lots of WoW and RuneScape, and XIV is for sure my favorite. Yeah, it just makes you feel good. My favorite one is Final Fantasy XIV. I can't play wise. I don't like turn-based unless it's for a CRPG with an excellent story. Got you. Yeah, that makes sense. Because most of the other ones were turn-based, so I can understand the frustration with that. I'm a Limsa warrior myself. Pirates are my people. Florian, what's going on? Glad you're able to make the stream. I like the new banner. And people, did you make it yourself or hire an artist to do it? I hired an artist to do it. I already had an artist working on the overlay. And so I wanted the overlay and my banner and my logo to all kind of have the same look and feel to it. So I felt like it makes sense to have one artist do all of the above. It's still not exactly where I want it. Like, I feel like I'm going to do a lot of dark, grim content, whereas I feel like the tone of the banner and like the overlay stuff I have is kind of like, it's all light and blue and computer digital stuff going around. It's not quite where I want it to be yet, but this is good holdover. I'll use this for a year or so until I have the money to do what I really want to do. Boss Spades, what's going on? You didn't miss much, man. We did a quest. I got some new armor, and now we're back at that Northfield location we left off on last time. Plot-wise, I'm more into political stories, so I like Tactics and 12 the most for Final Fantasy games. Awaken, what's going on? Good to see you. Glad you're able to make the stream. Makes sense. Also, Tactics had a character called Thunder God Sid, and he lived up to the name. Nice. I got into Final Fantasy 14 recently. This story is so good. It has a huge story focus. Like, you can't get to in-game stuff without doing the story first. Interesting. Okay. A trickle of blood runs from a cut on his brow down to his neck, staining a locket worn on a gold chain. You're not Glanfathan. He tightens the grip on the sword's handle. By Margaret, friend or foe, I said. Calm down. I'm a friend. Sword still pointing at you. The man gives a sideways glance to his companions and nods. The mercenaries lower their weapons. By the flame, the hero of Defiance Bay, a rare and welcome sight, friends this far from home. He lets the weight of his sword lower his arm. He gives a concerned look to his mercenary company. Look at us, hiding in the rocks and holding in our guts. He points south. The fangs, they bloody us and now we're trapped. Gwyneth sent me. What happened? Resourceful girl. The captain huffs a chuckle before returning to his humorless frown. We assume the Glanfathers killed her before coming upon us. I'm relieved she's alive. Doubly relieved she brought help. He rests his sword, still caked with blood across his shoulders. The tribesmen ambushed us just as we made camp. The fight was a lopsided slaughter. Esmar stares at his feet as he finishes his thought. In the melee, someone tripped through the campfire. We were lucky in that regard. The stench of burning flesh and the choking smoke obscured the scene, and a few of us managed to withdraw. We ran to these ruins to regroup, but now we're trapped. The face painters are just south of our position and they have us cornered. No doubt they're happy to let us starve while they rest and rebuild their strength before attacking anew. His left hand idly toys with a locket worn around his neck. Seems this is where we will be making our last stand. He mutters as he clenches the gold ornament. If the hunters are to the south, can you flee to the north? We could run that way, maybe evade the Glanfathans if we're quick, but the captain looks over his shoulder and shakes his head. We spotted a pack of Stelgars up there. Given the options, I'd rather some face painter kill me right quick than die slowly, bite by bite, to a feral cat. He glances northward. If I didn't know better, I'd wager those beasts are working with the tribesmen. But I'm sure they're just here following their stomachs. Just look at us, limping on our injuries and covered in blood. We must smell like butcher shop. At least you didn't lose your locket in the scuffle. Focusing on the positive, he asks with a laugh as he flips the locket between his calloused fingers. This is for my son, for when he's old enough to be trusted with such things. Born a few months ago, not hollow. Hallelujah be praised. Told my beloved the child would want for nothing. He looks you in the eye with an embarrassed smile. Probably should have promised her I wouldn't throw my life away treasure hunting in Glanfath. He is hoping the boy gets his smarts from the mother side of the family. Maybe I can help you get out of here alive. Esmar's face turns flush and you see the hint of a smile come across his face. We'll take any help we can get. We're pinned between the Stelgars to the north and the Fangs to the south. If you can scatter either group, that'll clear an escape route for us. He turns to address his soldiers. Gents, gather up your gear and lace up your boots. Looks like we have a chance at going home. He hoists his backpack over his shoulder. When the path is clear, north or south, give us word and we'll beat a hasty retreat back to Deerwood. What makes it an RPG first is that if you took the multiplayer out of the game completely, it would still hold up as an amazing game. Ooh, that's saying a lot. Other MMOs, you could generally delete all quest tags and it wouldn't change the game much. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. That's saying quite a bit. Wow. Okay. That is saying quite a bit. What is that marker? All right. The notes say nothing to report. All right. To the north. Where are these Stelgar that you're so afraid of, bro? Is this it? Ooh, sheesh. And I see the problem. Elder spotted, elder spotted. All right. No, that's not what I wanted. My bad. Boom, boom, boom. Mm-hmm. Bum, ba, bum. Ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom. Keep everybody nice on the ground. Get down on the floor. And there we go. Boo-boo! Excellent.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
Argo, take care, man. Hope work goes well tomorrow. The Bethesda been going back and adding ways for you to be able to do all the story content without ever
They shall see
needing
nothing while I
to
see
group up with
much.
people. Wow, that's crazy. So they're really leaning into, hey, it just so happens to be a multiplayer game, but if that's not what you want it to be, it doesn't have to be that way. That is definitely different. That is definitely commendable. Woo. Boom, 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 boom. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Moe ixi ana. To whispers and shadows.
To whispers and shadows. Did you know the critically acclaimed MMORPG has a free trial that includes the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heaven's Ward expansion up to level 60? I had no idea. Sorry, I had to do the copy pasta. Bryce Boss works for Square. That's awesome. Oh, the fans are known for being a bit evangelical. That's awesome. Over a ground hardened by dry blood and stomped leaves, the corpse of a giant Stelgar crawls with flies. His flesh has been pierced and cut, as if stabbed by spears and slashed by swords. You touch the dead Stelgar's flank. A cloud of flies stirs into the air, and suddenly you feel the creature's remaining essence. The world around fades away. The pack rests. Rocks shelter the young, full bellies. You turn around and look beyond the trees. The moon breaks over their swaying canopy. A scent in the air stirs a tingling in your mouth. You slide into the shadows, the taste of hunt filling your nostrils. Light shines on the stones by the water that falls. Prey down below. Two-legged, hair like dry grass. It moves near the water that flows. Thin legs, slow, noisy, unaware. It holds a sharp stick. Two-legged hunter, weak hunter, prey. Closer, prey. Bright moon, prey. Into the darkness. Pain. Pain on your side. A sharp stick pokes out of your left flank. You roar and shake it. It snaps, breaking on the stones. Wet stones, your blood. Leaves rustle, you look. Another two-legged, another hunter. Thick legs, silent steps, striped face, strong hunter. Enemy. You leap, aiming at its neck. It moves, fast. Your claws find flesh, ripping it deep, ripping it down. Wet leaves, two-legged blood. It howls, it fights back. Long claws cut through the air. They slash at your flesh. More pain, sharp pain. You strike, it strikes. Hot blood on your claws, hot cuts on your chest. The world goes red. Your strength fails, you can't breathe. The two-legged hunter looks down. Wet ground, our blood. Sharp stick above its head. Bright moon above its head. Strong hunter. The world goes dark.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Quest added. Sign. You can do it. There you go. Hunter brother. All right, so we got to search down towards the bottom. The problem is getting the compulsory storyline dungeons done. You can wait forever. If you're into some good JRPGs, Tale of Arise was excellent. What kind of game is that?
Well met, friend.
Give me a second. Let me take my medication. Oh, I'll be so glad when I can cut down on these damn pills. Boom, boom, boom. Don't be judging people, Dagon. As soon as way is cleared, yeah. I've cleared the northern woods. Those Stelgars won't trouble you. Esmar blinks and arches his eyebrows in surprise. All of them? The creases around his eyes deepen as his smile grows. The mercenary captain turns to his company. Hear that, boys? Looks like we've got a way out. Get to it. They cheer, their voices kindle with purpose, and spring into march. Esmar raises his fist and shakes it. The locket dances as if jerked into life. The captain nods and gives you one last look before joining his companions. You aided the mercenaries, foreigner. Now we will cleanse the stain you mark upon these lands. Oh, damn, there's no way to avoid that fight, huh? Oh, well. Eder, you. Boom, boom, boom. Not champions. Boom. What's this? Devotions. Yeah, devotions of the faithful. Boom, 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 boom. $60 all I need, right? Yep. Why aren't you doing anything? What is your problem, lady? Oh, she's terrified. Whoops. Oh, that's deeply unfortunate. Why are you doing regular attacks when you've got all these spells you could be using, bro? Like, I just don't get it. Nah, that. There we go. Here. Interesting. And this boy loves. What is the name of this freaking spell? Armor of the Faithful? Man, he's like, there's always a good time for Armor of the Faithful. I don't understand. Shields for the Faithful? No. Where is this? We already did Devotions. Shining Beacon. To take a penalty on all defense and accrue burn damage. There we go. Yep. I like that. You. Here we go. That's what I was waiting on. Now let's get this on Eder. There we go.
My mind feels sharp.
Ba-ba. Stop. Don't go all the way over there. And there we go.
That's me you're hitting.
Yeah, that was a mistake, but it is what it is. Excellent.
Yes.
Why did it seem like people kept waiting? Oh, whoa. Oh, wait, no, he's supposed to have none. You hold ground. Vigorous unbending when below 50%. Yeah, okay, I guess I'm good with that. Crowd control, aggressive. You know what? No, I want her to go for damage. I'll deal with crowd control. Your support, that's fine. Whatever. Crowd control, aggressive, that's fine. What are you doing? Aggressive, that's fine. Okay, cool. Didn't have to be like that, y'all. Y'all decided to make it like that. Come on now.
Certainly. Keeping an eye out.
All right. Look, lads, dude, stupid doomies of. What's that from? Armor of the Faithful, AI. Why don't you use the good stuff first? It's crazy, bro. I don't understand. Like, we're 3 levels away from max level. Why are you still using level 1 powers if I have you set to support? When you've got full slots all the way up and down. Like, come on now.
Whispers and shadows.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You can't change the AI script in this one. Yeah, so like as you just saw, you can change it, but it just gives you these templates. Like you can't really get granular with it. So the one who annoys me the most, Durant's, if you look at support, it's got a whole bunch of stuff about restore minor endurance, using healing support spells like Armor of Face and Blessing. These are all like really, really low level powers. So it was fine when we were around level, I don't know,
Certainly.
like up to like level 5 or 6. But once you get beyond there, when you get to the higher level powers, he just doesn't use them. This leather pack, its belongings wash down the current of the river, gleams like a wet rock. I'm just starting prep work on a new Rogue Trader campaign I'll be GMing. Plan to set in around the far side enclaves. I'm really looking forward to digging more into Rogue Trader lore. So many better spells in Armor of the Faithful. Is that like programming that uses it? Can you change that? Nope. He's set to support. He's going to be using Armor of the Faithful. That's what he opens every fight with, basically. Armor of the Faithful. Why? Why? Yeah, it's in Pillars of Eternity 2 where they really let you do more with the scripts. Yeah, script stuff is so much more expensive in Deadfire. Yep. Yeah, no, you can't. There's no other game that does scripts like Dragon Age, but Deadfire does a really good job. I was thoroughly okay with the way scripts worked at Deadfire. Definitely not okay with the way they work here. Holy smokes, that's a whole lot of people. All right. Can y'all be paralyzed? Y'all are all sensitive to paralyzation? Well, then let me give you some. Here you go. All right, and yep, Adder. And we'll do some more of that. Adder as well. Oh, yeah. Oh, they cannot be knocked prone. I was like, why are they still up? What's the problem over here? But they can't be knocked prone. That's why it's not affecting them the way it should. All right. We'll go with Palagina, I guess. There we go. Excellent.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
This boot lies half buried in mud on the riverbank, as if it had been flushed from upstream. Honestly, I'm on the fence about going too far with player AI scripting. Pillars of Eternity 2 and Final Fantasy 12 played themselves if you set it up right, and that made the game boring. You know, for me personally, I like it when they go all out on strips, but I'm also the type of person who the story is what keeps me coming back to the game again and again, not the combat, you know? So for those people where the combat is the end-all, be-all, I can kind of understand how they wouldn't want scripts that just make it basically autoplay, but me personally, I love it because I also feel like it rewards how well I've built up my character. Like, it's all about me building them up right and figuring out the puzzle of how we're all going to mesh together so that we can handle pretty much any situation that comes up. I really like it when a game rewards me for that. And honestly, I don't like games like this, Pillars of Eternity, where I feel like I basically have to micromanage everybody in order to be really competent in fights. That's, to me, it's not a good player experience. Like, I understand you don't want it to be autoplay, but at the same time, that works a little differently when you have 6 characters who you're running around with. Like, there needs to be a better middle ground than what's in this game. Beneath the raging waterfall, the corpse of an elven Glanfathan hunter lies shattered against the rocks. Broken bones protrude through its skin, but you also notice deep, parallel cuts in the rotting flesh. The slashes trace almost every part of the body, as if it had been ravaged by a dozen blades. This man probably died before his fall from the cliffs above. You touch the dead elf's forehead, droplets of water glistening down its purple surface, and feel a sudden jolt from the hunter's lingering essence. The world around you fades away. You're walking among the underbrush without making a sound. Moonlight catches sight of your arms, shining them pale, but you quickly dart again into the shadows of the giant trees of the North Weald. Your blood brother is not so deaf, as you expected. Look at him, frail, unaware. He doesn't deserve to share the glory of this hunt. It's been countless seasons since a Stelgar like this one, twice the size of its lesser kin, has roamed the forest near Twin Elms. Arthwin fell for the trick. You almost feel pity for him, but you're convinced yourself that he'd only get in the way once the killing begins. He'll be safer by the river, expecting that we'll flank the Stelgar once it comes out to drink. But this kill will be only yours. The Stelgar is larger than you imagine. It stands without fear atop the waterfall's ridge, its silhouette cutting a monstrous hole against the mantle of the night sky. A beast of legend, a true hunter. Your hand tightens around the shaft of your father's spear. The weight feels balanced, just right, as you prepare to throw. You put everything into it. The spear flies true and hits its mark. The Stelgar didn't even hear a sound. Its blood spills bright on the rocks, yet it stands unfazed. The beast pounces. Moonlight shines over its great fangs. Your hand draws your blades without a second thought as you lunge forward to meet the monster. It's fast. It's ripping your flesh apart. You stab at the darkness engulfing you deep, again and again, but there is no slowing its embrace. Woo! Rough. I'm almost terrified of what they're going to do with Dragon Age 4. BioWare has not been making good releases lately. Yeah, it's sad, man. It's sad. There aren't a whole lot of video game companies that I feel really loyal to, where I feel like I just pick up everything that they do. BioWare has for a long time been one of them, and they're just about on their last leg with me, bro. I am just not happy whatsoever with the content they've been putting out. Dragon Age has so little news, I'm very worried. Well, I guess to be fair, if the combat is the end-all, be-all, you wouldn't be using scripts anyway. You'll be micromanaging. Absolutely, exactly. Buzz of us, I'm back. Welcome back. No, I mean, welcome back. Yeah, I know there's been a lot of back and forth about what kind of game Dragon Age was going to be. There was a time when they were seriously considering making it a real-time strategy game instead of just a single-player RPG. I think what happened with both the Star Wars game that came out a year or so ago and Mass Effect really helped to ensure that they're going to make the same type of Dragon Age that the previous fans who have been enjoying the saga would actually enjoy, because those games both made it clear that there are still a lot of fans who really, really want single player content. And as much as EA keeps trying to get away from that, people keep drawing them back in like, no, this is what we want. Thank you very much.
Spot on. And what does the flame reveal?
If you're taking 2 minutes to carry out a plan in Battle to Win, or minutes per turn, it's too much. Yep. There should be some autonomy competence to relieve the player from time to time. Yeah, I definitely agree. When it is many characters, I'm happy for the ability to set up scripts like that. Although I do prefer a game with single PC to focus on and more challenging combat. Yeah, see, I prefer team-based games personally. In fact, the only game I could think of where it was single player and I still really, really enjoy the story is probably the Witcher series. Like, I enjoy Skyrim a lot, but it's more so about the freedom to just do whatever you want, to just have this sandbox in. Not because I felt like it was this exceptional storytelling that was happening. So usually I want single party-based games, and I want really interesting party members that I can become associated with. Good Lord, he dominated him right from the jump? That's crazy. Why is Durance using a shield action? Why is he bashing? Good Lord. I don't even know if we have a way to pull this off of you. Yeah, we can't do anything about Dominated right now, unfortunately. Oh, wait. Here we go. Suppress Affliction. There we go. I was like, we got to be able to do something. Go, get up. What you doing? When you plan to start getting up? There we go. I was about to say. Now, you should be using Flames of Devotion. Come on now. Whoops. Let's go ahead and get this cracking, too. There we go. Put them all on their behinds. Uh-huh. There we go. And now we're going to keep them down. Excellent. Benjamin, what's going on? Good to see you, man. How are you? Glad you're able to make the stream. Yeah, I was loyal to HOMM and MechWarrior, but those series are gathering dust on the shelves.
Certainly.
Me, Simple A, I just love a good story. I'm right there with you. The clouds above the cliffs of the North World reflects on the iridescent surface of this pillar of Adra. Yeah, the story is what matters the most for me. Like, if the story... Whoa. What's that? Pilgrim Shrine? What is that over there? The nest. What nest? The nest. All right. I am not a fan of PGI, honestly, so the Mech Warrior thing has me worried. PGI? What's PGI? Even Inquisition feels like it was a fluke that it was any good. The game holds itself back for being truly great in many ways. Yep, I agree. Like, I loved Inquisition quite a bit. I really felt like there was some good things about it. But the quest that you have to do, it has such an MMO feel to it. Like, it's ridiculous how MMO it is. So, unfortunately, I feel like it's a case where there's great character development, there's great writing, and the story is pretty cool as well. And the theme of it, the idea that, you know, there's this huge issue and you're the only one who could deal with it, I feel like that was pulled off very well. But then it's supported by this quest structure that people who are fans of the genre, there's no reason to expect that they would enjoy something like that.
Yes?
Boom, boom. Ma'am, why aren't you attacking? You should be attacking. All right, you're going to use Whispers of Treason, which I don't particularly want, so there we go. We're gonna get that going. And there we go. Ba-boom, boom,
I'll see what I can find.
Ooh, and there goes another cave. Wow, so we got 2 areas to go to. I also think the flopping of Anthem helps send the message too. Great call out. Yep. You know it did. You know that hurt their feelings. And I was so happy to see it too. I was pissed when the stories came out about Anthem and how it distracted from resources for Mass Effect Andromeda, and that's part of the reason the game was so terrible. I thought that was so ugly, man. So ugly. You basically abandoned people who have been loyal fans of this series for years in the hopes that you could jump on the MMO train. Please. It's going to be Mech Warrior and 2 Mercenaries. Shut up. It's funny. You're not wrong, so I won't. It was a mistake they got rid of blood magic. Trying to hide that as Inquisitor would be so dope. Durance being his own worst enemy is just the AI playing out his personality accurately. Hard to argue against that. You know, unlike a game where you could quote it 20 years later, I'm crazy. Maybe both. I've never played Mech Warrior, so I can't comment. Why not choices A to Z? Doing good. I made myself some pudding scratch tonight, which is why I was late. Nice. Nice. Do you like how it came out?
We'll keep to ourselves.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
There we go. I was about to say I knew that shot was going to come out sooner or later. And we'll do a second round just to be sure. Okay. There we go. Woo.
And what does the flame reveal?
Excellent. What's going on here? Ooh. And oh, you're running low on buffs, somebody. Oh yeah, you don't have anything useful yet, really, except for this stuff here. Holy rays, you don't even have the interdiction stuff. Okay, it's all right.
Help.
Hmm. Ooh. Y'all should be going down. There we go. Excellent. Boom, boom, boom.
Sharp eyes.
Call of the Tuesday. Awesome. All right. Now we're ready to head out. Whoa, come on. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Ironically, I get more MMO fatigue from Inquisition than Final Fantasy. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Taking resources from Andromeda just to make a half-baked game. So ugly. Yeah. The MMO fatigue from Inquisition is real. Definitely. Honestly, Mech Warrior is very niche. It's one of those sim games that use your full keyboard 3 times over, so not for everyone. Interesting. Slandered, by the way, is confirmed that Addy is still alive, stretched across the desert sky. That has got to be an absolutely miserable existence. With no doubt whatsoever. Oh, you gotta try to figure your way out up here. A winding stair hugs the cliffside, providing an impressive view as you work your way higher and higher. Not too far along the path, however, you find your progress interrupted. A large boulder appears to have fallen onto the road from somewhere up above, and it now sits squarely in your way. Use a hammer and chisel to clear the way. Chiseling away at the boulder proves a slow and wearing endeavor, especially when several sections of the boulder prove too hard to carve through, forcing you to aim elsewhere. After a long while, your efforts pay off, and a section of the boulder splits away. You hear the echoing clatter of the rocks tumbling down the side of the cliff. The sound seems to stir something overhead. A shadow crosses the path, quick as lightning, and vanishes before you catch a glimpse of what is casted. But you do see the rapidly growing silhouettes of several more rocks flung down at you from above. Scrambling to action, the party ducks under a small, rocky protrusion along the cliff face, but Eder stumbles and is left just short of shelter. A sudden hailstorm of fist-sized rocks and scattered debris rains down upon them. Battered and bruised, Eder leaps the final distance to safety. After a short while, the thundering rumble of falling stones fades away. Your ordeal past, you continue your climb, and the rest of your journey proceeds without incident. At last, you find yourself at the base of a final twisting set of steps, above which you can see the towering pillars of Hylia's nest. Excellent. Bit worried about if the pudding will set properly or not, but it's silky smooth. You can see the chocolate really gloss there. Just got to chill it for 30 minutes and see. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so it sounds like you're happy with the way it's come out.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
And the prestigious visitor. Okay, cool. We're good. Let's go ahead and do a save here. I think I played MechWarrior 3 and 4 when I was still in primary school. I don't remember much of the story, but I do remember taking on my younger brother in multiplayer as a tiny elemental mech. MechWarrior is great. Have you tried BattleTech? Nope. Never tried BattleTech either. Yeah, I bought it at launch, but I like Shadowrun so much. Couldn't get interested in the story due to the setting. Just sounded like a giant list of family dynasties in name. And that's all we can do here. So let's go in this direction instead.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
The edges of the bones are brittle and blackened. Ooh. Ooh! That's a pretty looking dragon.
What's the plan again?
As you reach the summit of the mountain, a gust of wind stirs the air. You hear a noise like the snapping of sails, and the sky is briefly blotted out. A dragon lands before you, shaking the ground beneath your feet. It draws itself up to its full height and spreads its wings, barring your passage. Its neck, its back, and the ridge of its spine are covered with magnificent plumage. It hisses at you, and while the sound is unlike any language you've ever heard, the beast's meaning is utterly clear.
Vermin invading my nest, threatening my hatchling. You shall feed my young.
A small worm crouches in a corner of the temple behind the dragon. Be careful, Watcher. Her mind is on edge, not with hunger, but with fear. There is little more dangerous than a mother defending her offspring. You have young here?
I will protect my last hatchling to the death. And that death will be yours, rodent.
Hylia is the goddess of motherhood, actually.
And of the sky and all winged creatures. Even my kind know of her.
Is that why you came here?
I came to care for my remaining hatchling. My kind requires territory. Few places are safe for our young. This is a lesson that cost me the rest of my brood.
Then you should stay. Raising your offspring here would honor Hylia.
So be it. Go then, and with my thanks.
The grieving mother's eyes are warm, approving. Truly, you are full of surprises and rare insights.
Keeping an eye out.
Hey, look at that. I don't know what that was, but we'll check it out later.
Certainly.
Oh, man. This is stealing too? What about there's some sort of body over here, right? This we can get. Okay. We'll check that out later. All right. So. Let her get all the way down to the bottom. There we go. Okay. God dog it. What's in here? Will topaz, a diamond. Damn. That's a lot of good money. Just have to let go. Wait. So if we're over here, that thing flies away. Ha ha! Ha ha! And there we go. There you go. You can have your life, lady. It's all good. Oh, wait, what's this? The edges of the bones are brittle and blackened. Okay, so did I do everything that they wanted? There's an ancient court there that can lead me to Theos. Yep. Both perished. Show me a battle between them. I dealt with that. Wait. So here, it's down here, right? Into the white void. I complete his task. I killed the arch druid. To Elm Shore. Oh, I need to go to Elm Shore in order to deal with her. Understand? I pray. Yep. Okay. Okay. I think I've finished all that. Excellent. As a cook, I realize that I tend to be best at cooking the more fattening foods: breads, puddings, cakes, brownies, cookies, pastas, burgers, whole birds in the oven. I can't do pies, though. I haven't yet learned how to balance filling and crust. One or the other always fails. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to get into cooking more, so because I know it would help me eat more healthy. That from the mama. Dragon. Yeah, it's always nice seeing a dragon in the game. Savory pies or American pies. Time to start working. We'll leave this on lurk. Miss saying goodbye. Thanks yesterday. So take care and have a good one. Take care, Edson. Glad you were able to make the stream, man. Hope you have a good day. Here's more. Do you think you'll try Tyranny anytime soon? That game banned me back. So we're doing Pillars of Eternity. Then we're going to do Deadfire. And then by that time, I'm probably going to be sick of Obsidian games. I'm thinking I might break it up with Wasteland 3. And then after Wasteland 3, we'll jump into Tyranny. Mind you, in between then, we'll probably play like some betas or some new games that have come out. Like I know Midnight Suns is coming out in December. We're definitely going to be playing that. So, but those are the games like I actually have planned from the games that have already come out. I want to go ahead and run through Obsidian stuff. We'll probably play Fallout New Vegas at some point as well, but I'll probably do Fallout 3 first, then Fallout New Vegas. Okay, Elm Shore. Let's find this chick. Boss Page, you should have known I'd find a way. Come on now, bruh. You just got to have someone who's built up quite a bit of stealth. I'll give you an escort. It's fine. Here, you can take that guy. There you go. And we're good. Patrols intervene. Okay. Whoa, wait. Oh, no. We already assigned someone to the quest, so we're good. Now, Audra Pillars, Audra Arch. Where is this chick? No clue. Let's try at the Audra Arch. When you get up to Deadfire, I'll be continuing my game at pace with you so I can benefit from your voice and see what differences there are based on my decisions. Awesome. Looking forward to it. Yep, I plan to jump right into it as soon as we finish this. Is she over here, maybe? Nope, not over here either. Whoa, wait a minute. Is there a whole section over there that I've never been to? How did that happen? Got Tyranny on my wish list, just waiting for a good sale. Tyranny is amazing. I'm really looking forward to going through Tyranny. And that might be hard for that playthrough might be hard for some of you though, because I'm definitely going to be pure evil. pure evil. Damn, I didn't come over here at all? What was I thinking? Okay, yeah, and there's nothing above. Okay, so I didn't miss any like whole sections of places. That's good at least. Oh, and there's an enemy over here. Whoa, Eddar's got a lot of injuries on him. Eddar's got a lot of injuries on him.
Certainly.
The man on the ground gasps for air, clutching his chest as he struggles. On closer examination, you see his red cloak obscures the full extent of his injuries. His face whitens as blood pools around him. Please, traveler. He reaches out, arduously extending his hand to you. What happened? Forgetful, so careless. He mutters, blood seeping from his lips. Cuts on my knuckles from morning's practice. He holds his blood-soaked hand out in front of him. The Stelgars, they smelled the blood on me, thought they found their next meal. The man reaches down to clutch his left leg, his fingers running along a jagged length of bone protruding from his knee. They were almost correct. The man lets out a long sigh and smiles at you with a slow, knowing nod. You are known to us, Watcher. We know you have treated others honestly, fairly. His face becomes pale and lapses into a wide smile. And I have need of someone trustworthy to finish my mission. Tell me of your, be still, allow me to tend your wounds, or at least ease the pain. As you move close to help, the monk places his hand on yours and gently rebuffs your efforts with his remaining strength. Your intentions are kind, but I must embrace my suffering and ready my soul for its next journey. This must be delivered to my order. The monk weakly grasps for his satchel, drawing from it a messenger's scroll case. Take it, he rasps, waving the missive at you. It needs to be carried to the celestial sapling. Give this to my brothers. They will reward you. Do not open it, he cries out, his voice cracking. The contents are for my brothers only. If the seal is broken, they will. Blood erupts from the man's mouth, streams of red oozing down his neck. His head slumps backwards and his body goes still. Stow the scroll case in your pack. You place the scroll case in your pack and venture forward. Damn. Good Lord, bro. You be peaceful now. All right. Servant of death. I learned that the Golden Grove, the woman was strangely close to Elm's Reef. The woman, she mentioned a place called the Golden Grove, right? The druid higher often visits the Elm Shore in search of remedies to prolong her life. I suspect that Arona is the elven woman from the vision. But where is she? Wasteland 3 is a blast. Absolutely. I 100% agree. Had a great time with Wasteland 3. So we're going to do, when we get back to it, we're going to do it on that highest difficulty. So that we really got to use all of the tactics to their fullest. Definitely pick it up if you get a chance. Very accessible, and it has the cool hyperlink system that gives you blurs about things that your character should know. Not necessary, but why not with all the money you get? You know, I built a few mercs just for escorting people at the keep. Not necessary. Yeah. I got you. It hasn't been necessary for me because I got so many party members that I never use, so I just end up sending them. But either way would work, definitely. It's what Tyranny was made for. For the first time, we have a game where it's harder to be the good guy. Marcel, what's going on? Glad you're able to make the stream. Hope you're doing all right, man. Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely what it was made for. What do you mean? Nothing changes from evil to super evil. You just have more fun. Keith, what's going on? Glad you're able to make the stream, man. You doing all right? Sorry, I'm late. I was playing the Outer Worlds and lost track of time. That's another game I plan to play. Absolutely. Makes total sense. Is she in the cave? I'm so confused. Am I thinking about this wrong? Maybe she's not in this area? Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Nope. She's not in the cave. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Send me a link, Tariq. Absolutely. Send me a link. Mind you, as you can see, I'm playing a bunch of different things right now, so I'm not sure how soon I'll get to it. But yeah, send me the link and I'll check it out. What am I missing? What am I missing? Okay, look. She's here for herbs, right? Mm-hmm. Stag. This place isn't even all that big. It's not big enough for her to be so difficult to find. Yeah, that was calmer. Because 76 was, whoo, that was horrible. That was horrible. Things seem to be good, but I don't want to jinx it. Awesome. I'm glad to hear it, man. An elf stands on the dais in the middle of a clearing. The ground is blanketed with leaves in various shades of russet and gold. Her eyes are closed and her arms folded in front of her. A curtain of autumnal yellow hair hangs in front of her face. As you draw near, she lifts her chin and looks at you with shifting hazel eyes.
Greetings, Estremor. You are among the Ovates of the Golden Grove.
Why does this part get voice acting? When we've seen so many other things that didn't. This is not pivotal. We had that conversation. Never mind. I'd like to know more about the Ovates of the Golden Grove.
Like the leaves of a tree, we are many sharing one source, one purpose. Living or dying, we nourish one another. The truths of the soul and of the body are written on every blade of grass and sung by every creature under the sun. We learn these truths and sing them back.
Yeah, Outer Worlds definitely has a Fallout feel. Ours is not the song of the gods, but of Weretha. This is why many of our numbers study the discourse of herbs and inhabit the skin of beasts. Your essence churns like an eddy in the stream, Estermore. Speak the questions on your soul. Your druids. Are you familiar with the ethnic null? A wrinkle of distaste curls her lips. A swarm of maggots on a dead songbird. Worms hollowing a mighty spruce. They celebrate the withering of life rather than its budding. They seize strength from others instead of accepting what Weretha freely gives. Her eyes dim to a blackish brown. They take pride in their independence from the gods, yet their leader demands an even greater sacrifice: death for life, strength from the spent essence of their petitioners. The ethnic Null offer another kind of servitude, and one to Kith whose soul have long since rotted. The ethnic Null should save lives, not in. I wouldn't really know. Your answer is driftwood in the rapids, fair enough to cling to for a time, but eventually you must choose a firmer position. Speak plainly, will you? She gives you a mischievous half grin while her eyes fade to gray. The words on my lips are the language of the stream, cleaving stones and the wind guiding seeds. If you do not understand, it is because the tongues of Kith have deafened you. And you are...
High Ovate, an ancient elm among poles and saplings. We have taken root in the same soil, and the others grow in my shade. Their roots nourish my soil. My branches give them shelter. Together, we grow.
Barath has sent me to end your life. It has continued for too long.
At least he chose someone who wouldn't wrap her intentions in trickery and lies. But what is a god that his voice should carry so far? And what are you that you should so eagerly obey? The gods only have dominion over what we seed, and you would cede matters of life and death to them.
It's that or trust your neighbors. If you had my neighbors, you might think twice about that. Are you any different? You've extended your life beyond its natural span. Through work and wisdom, the greater the tree, the more fruit it may yield. She nods at the ovates gathered in the clearing. They are vines climbing an ancient elm into the sunlight. My growth sustains them. Should our harmony fall prey to a god's jealousy? And where exactly would she lead them? She's blind to the limits of her own wisdom. The gods are wiser and more ancient even than you. It is not for either of us to oppose them. She shakes her head. It is a shame we cannot come to an accord. Holy smoke, somebody just sniped the crap out of Aloth. That was not cool at all. Actually, Aloth, you should here, yeah, we'll give some in return for that. That has to be answered. Whoops. I didn't mean for it to be her. Oh well. And there we go. Dun-dun-dun.
Certainly.
And look at that, Devil of Karak.
Slowly now.
Just finished her quest. Felt like Outer Worlds was good but very safe. Yep, I agree. It was. I enjoyed Outer Worlds, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I was a little disappointed by it. Especially since the trailers made it seem like it was just going to be really, really wild, really, really crazy, and they were trying to really go out there with it, and that's definitely not what it was. So, yeah, just being honest, I wasn't all that crazy about it, but I enjoyed it for what it was, and I am definitely still looking forward to the sequel. Okay, we're gonna go back here first and rest, get all of our spell slots back, and then we'll come back, turn in all those quests, and then we'll go to the burial isle. Yeah, Outer Worlds made by the people that may follow New Vegas very, very similar. I personally didn't like it, but it was very much a taste thing rather than because the game was bad. So, did you also dislike New Vegas? And regardless, why did you dislike it? I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. Aloth, whoops, I didn't need to come all over. Oh no, I do because I want to get what's ever in that chest. Aloth, I think Deathfire is going to make you rethink that position on the gods. Hey, have my volume up really loud, and that actually scared me. My bad. On the topic of BioWare from before, actually, have you ever played Greedfall? I think it's the best example I can think of for another studio doing a BioWare style RPG and succeeding. Greedfall was okay. I wouldn't really put it on the level of what I expect out of BioWare games, but I did enjoy it. I did have a good time with it. I feel like, honestly, CD Projekt Red has probably been the group, even though they don't make party-based games, they're the ones who the most have been able to emulate a lot of the things that BioWare was doing before. You know, like the wheel and, you know, heavy focusing on dialogue and all that kind of stuff.
I'm impressed.
Like, I feel like they're the ones who really figured out how to harness that. What is going on? Since when is... Oh, maybe it's always been that way. Okay, here, camp. Whoops, rest. I feel like it could have been much better. I may just not like the engine. Got you. Poor Auntie. I think I know why we're allowed to wield oddly pieces of weapons. When they kill NPCs, they shoot back. I think that is going to stretch further until it stretch out over the whole world. Oh! Couldn't possibly have done something to deserve this. It's just not possible. All right, so what's in this first area? Oh, I think we go into the area where the person led us through to begin with. And we need to visit the monks. Oh, and the the chick with the mercenary group. She's here as well. Oh, and of course, Kana finishes his quest after we've already gotten back. But whatever, it's fine. What's that? Glumfoth at home. Glumfoth at home. And that's the Celestial Spring. That's fine. We'll go in here first. Oh, Greedfall is the one where you didn't like the engine. Loved and hated it. Yeah, I like the fact that Greedfall came off as very unique. I felt that like that was a really cool aspect of it. Like it didn't feel like it was just a retread of something I had already played before. What what did I felt like they could have done a better job with the party members if I remember, or maybe it was the romance. I felt like they could have done a better job with the romances, and I felt like combat was repetitive if I remember correctly. Like you had different paths of combat, but basically anybody who chose that path, we were all pretty much doing the same thing. There wasn't enough variety in how you could build your people up. And so that irritated me. So I played all the way through it, but had little to no desire to play through it again. All right.
Tread carefully, Estermore.
You've returned. He glances at the huntress in the group. We hope you found the truth about my brother's fate. I've concluded my task. It's time to speak with the Anamthath. What did you see? Where's Fjorm? Rede takes a step forward. Tell me. Redai, the huntress thrusts her palm between you and her companion. The truth belongs to all of us, even Arthwin. You know this. Redai hesitates for a moment. He wipes the sweat off his face, leaving traces of red paint on his hands. I'm ready to share the truth with Anamthath. He looks up, and I'll make sure that so is Arthwin. Share your findings with Anamthath. Oh, okay, now we go in. I've been investigating Fjorm's disappearance. Indeed, Arthwin and Redai have spoken of little else. I do not envy your position, Gualzanamas. Yet your testimony may resolve the tensions between the keepers of the stone and the twice split arrows. She steeples her fingers. When you've gathered your evidence, I'll call a hearing. Let's begin. She nods. I will summon Arthwin and Redai. Their fates and the names of their tribes depend on what you will reveal to us, Gauls an Anams. You want to experience motion sickness with Outer Worlds? That is one game that makes me sick really quickly, even adjusting field of vision and disabling motion blur. I don't remember getting motion sickness, but then again, it was quite a while ago when I actually played it. When he made the world with his mother, she invaded twice. So that's just punishment. That doesn't mean to deserve it, but I could be wrong. Alvarez could have had different plans for Ati. The victors always write the history books. Maybe he came to help everyone and free everyone. I've answered the question here before. Basically, the situations in the lore and the outer worlds are too nonsensical for me to care. New Vegas has an interesting political situation to latch on to. I vaguely remember this. I love New Vegas. It was great on the strength of how well thought out the political situation was, despite suffering from the lack of depth of Fallout lore. Got you. Okay, makes sense. I don't get motion sick, but I can see something was off. I think a lot of people have problems with movement in the game in general. Bethuel stands at the head of the hall, lit from behind by dozens of candles. She casts a long shadow across the floor. We've gathered to weigh the claims of Arthwin and Redai in the matter of Fjorm's disappearance. To that end, we are honored by the presence of Gawas an Anams, whose insight will help us render a verdict. Murmurs of astonishment echo from the front of the hut. We begin with Arthwin's claim. He asserts that Fjorm lured him into a confrontation with the Stelgar, and that he slew the beast on his own. Fjorm, he says, exiled himself, fearing that knowledge of his actions would heap shame on the keepers of the stone. She holds up a tooth as long as her arm. As evidence, he brings a fang from the great Stelgar. On the other hand, Redai states that his brother was tricked and murdered by Arthwin during the hunt. A hunter of Fjorm's renown would not have fallen in the blood hunt, but by treachery. Her shadow flickers and dances in the candlelight as she looks at you. And now we turn to our Gauls an Anams. We ask only that you share your observations, that we may find closure for these two tribes. She lowers her head. What fate befell Fjorm? Fjorm is dead. What? Radai stares at you, his face contorted between surprise and anger. He turns to Arthwin. How? You puny weakling, how? The Ananthoth whips her neck toward the tribesmen. Do not forget your place. Radai's chest balloons, but he quickly lowers his chin in obedience. Arthwin's eyes dart from side to side. The Ananthoth continues. It saddens us to know this truth, but we must still reveal it deeper. If this is so, how did the giant Stelgar die? Fjorm killed the giant beast. Of course he did. Radai shakes his fist and looks to everyone in the hall. Arthwin is just a feeble hunter from the twice-split arrows, and a liar. Fur bristles along Bethwin's arms. Silence! Her slitted pupils narrow as she regards you. And now we come to it. Claim the truth for the 6 tribes, Gaul-An announced. Fjorm tricked Arthwin and fought the giant Stelgar by himself. They killed each other in the fight. Arthwin tried to cover Fjorm's shame, but lied about besting the creature. Your words echo along the passage of the 6 to the solemn audience. Bethuel nods. It is as you say. We thank you for sharing your truth with us. The Ananthoth turns to Arthwin and Radai. Brothers of the tribes, let these wounds mend. Go in peace and contemplate the shame brought into our hearth. Speak when I'd have a word with you. She turns back to you. A shame upon both tribes is not what I would have wanted, but we must learn to turn our faces to these hard truths if we are to survive the coming seasons. Your integrity is a boon to us. Please, accept this with our thanks. Sheathed in Autumn. Awesome. Oh, you know what? Let me look at a couple of things real quick. So we just got a ring, right? We just got a ring. And what's Sheathed in Autumn? That is, I think Sheathed in Autumn is a weapon, right? Ooh, Guidance Center. Attacks can stun on crits, +1 might. That's nice. What is Greenstone Staff? Good friend, okay. Forgotten Tear, the Beloved. What is Stun in Autumn? Ooh, right. We got a Ring of Protection. Another Ring of Protection. We need to distribute that. Oh, that's what's supposed to go on him. Absolutely. Ooh, Dexterity +3. I got to look to see if somebody might make use of that. Patchwork Boots. Boots of Stability, Amulet of Health. Okay. Oh, is it a Starlit Garb? I don't know what Sheathed in Autumn is. Oh wait, here we go. Sheathed in Autumn, unique sword. +1 enemies engaged. Interesting. Okay, cool. You have been waiting for the plus might. There we go, and now you have it. What's this? Deflection +5. You don't need that. You need protection. And protection you shall have. What do you got? You've got deflection. But what you need is really protection, because we'll get you braces of deflection once we find a place that will actually sell that to us. Let me check real quick here. Yeah, we don't have any of that here. So anybody else? You've got braces of deflection. You do not have braces of deflection, so you could use that, but you've already got a ring of deflection, so we'll hold off for you. What about you? What's going on here? We abandon all defense for you, so we'll leave that as is. Excellent. Okay. I know he didn't come here to free people. I was proud. Saw what they did. The environment's changed from rooms that they lingered in too long, from forest and mountain and urban and so on, to vacuum. That's awesome. Really wanted to say, call me puny one more time, see what happens. I would have 100% said that, no regrets. I'm a poo stirrer and thrower too. If you have one game that you could forget and experience for the first time again, what would it be? probably, if I could go back to the same setting in which I played it, Knights of the Old Republic. Because, so I wasn't allowed to play games when I was a kid. And Knights of the Old Republic came out right when I was basically in my own apartment for the first time. And so I had already bought a PC and I was going to play games on PC, but I was wholly against the idea of buying an Xbox. I was like, paying that $250 to get that console just seemed asinine to me. And I remember that experience of sitting with a friend watching him play Knights of the Republic, and I just so happened to get to his crib like an hour, maybe an hour and a half before he became a full-on Jedi. So I watched him just shooting around with the blasters and whatnot, and looking at this like, whatever, this is just a regular old Star Wars game. And I was with him that moment when he first got his lightsaber and his Jedi robes, and then he pulled out the lightsaber for the first time. And just that sound, the party members seeing all of that, it was just a totally different gaming experience than anything I had even thought of before. So the very next day, or it might have even, I'm actually no, I think it was that same night, I went out, bought an Xbox, bought Knights of the Old Republic, and basically stayed up all night playing it. And it was just an amazing experience for me. It just really, really made me think differently about video games as a medium. And I've been hooked ever since. And it's honestly a big reason why I'm so loyal to BioWare as a video game company to this day. So if I could go back to experience a moment, I would experience that, or honestly, the first Dragon Age. Because when Dragon Age came out, I only bought it because I was like, it's a BioWare game, so I guess I'll play it. But I was totally unimpressed with the trailers. I had only seen the CGI trailers that, had a bunch of crazy rock music and was not a good representation at all of what the game was actually like. So when I bought it, I really expected to not enjoy it. But I was just buying it to kind of support BioWare because I knew I liked what they were doing. So that first time I came back to camp and had a conversation with Leliana, and I don't know if you played the game before, but like that first conversation you have with her, you could spend like easily 15, 20, it's like a lot of dialogue. And when I realized how deep these conversation trees were going to be and how much it was exactly like the type of games that I loved, that was, again, an amazing experience. And it was a surprise how amazing it was for me. And so that's definitely another like major gaming experience I wouldn't mind going through again. Isn't the chick supposed to be here? She was standing here before. And I don't think she said meet her somewhere. All right, whatever. Not going to worry about it. Kingdom Hearts. Interesting. It's one thing I like about with JRPGs over CRPGs. Bad guys tend to have bad guy death animations where they can reflect on how much they screwed up fighting you. These games that just die. This is a good point. More satisfying when the victory is special. I absolutely agree. Watch a sword spin at the end of combat in slow-mo was so badass. What a wonderful story. Thank you. That or Lord Legend of Zelda. Ooh, Legend of Zelda. I've never played a Zelda game before. I keep hearing about it. I know there are so many people who really, really love them. Never played one before. For me, my first playthrough of Shadowrun Dragonfall experience I would most like to have again. Really? It was that impactful for you? Man, I'm looking forward to playing this game.
Hail, traveler.
I met another monk in robes like your own. He died of his wounds right as I found him. The monk's eyes widen, his fist curl in a crackling barrage of popping joints. Robes like ours, you say? Was he carrying anything? Did he tell you anything? Hand you anything? Please, we've been waiting for another order to meet us here, and if you found him, all eyes fall to the floor as the monks begin to whisper chants in unison to their fallen friend. Show him the message. He gave me this missive. Hand me that. The monk exclaims as he snatches the missive from your grasp. Almost immediately, his face turns red. I mean, please, this is of great importance. Breaking the seals, The monk unrolls the handwritten scroll contained within and quickly reads the message, his lips breathlessly mouthing the text. He turns to address his brothers. My brethren, the arch-martyr has sent word. At long last, we now have what we need. Thank you, stranger, the monk says, folding his hands in front of him as he bows deeply. Your honest soul is to be applauded. I admit I was surprised. When you handed me the message, I expected the seals to be broken. The monk turns red, his face smiling for the first time. I'm glad to see common decency is not yet lost from this world. He reaches into the folds of his robes. Here, your honesty must be rewarded. And there we go. A la Brasilia. See, this time like this when I really miss Pathfinder, you know, you could go into log, press on the item name, and see and see what it actually is. Man, that'd be nice right about now. That in the early days of PUBG, when a lot of us people who suck at video games were trying to play it. Zelda was something you had to grow up with, like Mario, Metroid, Mega Man, etc. Dragonfall is a great story. Love Glory in that game. Nice. Yeah, my father didn't. My parents didn't allow us to play video games when I was a kid, so I didn't grow up with like all those Nintendo characters. Everybody else in the neighborhood had video games, but I never did. The only games he let us play when we were kids, he let us have. There was like an NBA Jam game we had because he felt like as black men, it was important for us to know who Michael Jordan was. He felt like I was homeschooled as a kid, and he felt like once we got to like regular school and we were around more people, it would make us stand out in a negative way if we didn't know who Michael Jordan was, especially with us being in Chicago. So he let us have an NBA Jam game, and we had a Madden game for similar reasons, you know, just sports and let us play that. But outside of that, the only regular game that he allowed us to have was King's Quest, air today, go on tomorrow. My father was comfortable with letting us have that because he felt like, okay, you have to use your mind to play this. So he was a little more comfortable with that. But other than that, we didn't have any games. True to form, Siege, the Burden of Memory, right? His better half. All right, we got to figure that out. The Champion Barath, what's that? Rage's Soul, we got to do that. That's no problem. With the path cleared, I can let Esmar know it's safe for his men to escape the forest. They say Gwyneth waits on the southern edge of the North Wheel to know of their fate. Oh, so she's back in the North Wheel? Okay. And then the gods. In my dream, the army came from the White March. The rest of the residents will know. Okay. All right. Fine. So first, let's go to North Wheel. Also, Dragonfall was almost a horror game in a lot of ways, which is interesting as an RPG fan for me. Interesting. Usually I don't like horror games, but I'm still going to try it out. We'll see how I feel about it. Do you know what's actually in that message? There's been another playthrough when I looked at it, but I don't remember what was in it. The northern part? What does that mean? Wait. Did it say the northern part or the southern part? The southern edge of North Wheel. Okay. Maybe over here? Nope. Southern edge. Oh, here we go. Jason, what's going on? Glad you're able to make the stream, man. Hey, how's it going? Hope I'm not just texting the tail end of the stream. No, I'll probably be on for another hour or so. Man, that takes me back. Absolutely adore BioWare's earlier titles, and characters like Baeldor, Logan, and Alistair were great and really got me hooked into RPGs. Absolutely agree. King's Quest is pretty old. Yep. King's Quest is basically the first real RPG that I ever played. That's when it got me in, and I loved it as a kid. I thought that was an amazing game. But it did make me fall in love with video games as a medium, especially since I couldn't play any other games. So I just loved that particular game. Whereas Knights of the Republic made me fall in love with the medium and say, okay, video games in general, I love playing them. They're good Mario games. Newer Zeldas are good. Interesting. There's a lot you could go back and revisit. Is it the northern part or the southern part? Sounds Like me playing Sea of Thieves looking for a single bird treasure chest. Sports were never a thing of interest in our household growing up. I still find it weird seeing how much other people get into them. Yep, it's a big deal in some places. I kind of understand my father's perspective when it comes to like Michael Jordan though. Like he's just a really major black historical figure. Like it's one thing for you to just be good in sports. It's another thing for people to arguably say you were the best who ever did it, and you're doing it in the city, where this child is actually lives. So it's going to be weird if I go to college and I'm surrounded by a community of black people and they're all talking about Michael Jordan and I have no idea who that is. My father was concerned with me being homeschooled about me standing out in a negative way that would cause me to be ostracized by other people. Gwyneth, her gloved hands half buried on the waves of her rebellious hair, watches your approach incredulously. You did it! Her dimples frame a beaming smile. She lets out a sigh of relief and wags her finger at you. We'll be chanting your name back in the gift. Everyone will know what you've done for us, I promise. She scratches her left chin with a free hand and gives you a measuring look. But you're the type to deserve more than just praise. Coin? Weaponry? She rubs her gloved fingers together. Or if nothing tangible suits your fancy, I'd gladly share my skills with you. I'd like to learn from your skills. Gwyneth nods enthusiastically. I was hoping you'd say that. She removes the gloves from her hands, stowing them in her back pocket. When you spend as much time as I do in the ruins, you learn to strike first and to strike without warning. She holds out her estoc in front of her, its blade parallel to the ground. The key is efficiency of movement. Slandered was granted Dungeon Delver. She walks you through several footwork drills that focus on quiet footfalls and measured breathing. Place all your weight on the final step when you're ready to strike. She yells for emphasis as she demonstrates a swift, silent lunge. As you follow her examples, she nods in satisfaction. I think you've got the grasp of it. I'm honored I could teach you something new. She half curtsies and turns to take her leave. Okie dokie. Dungeon Delver. 0.1 to crit damage multiplier, +1 stealth, +1 mechanics. Not bad. Only problem is, Durance is the one who I really need to have that, but it is what it is. Dragon's Force is more Lovecraft and horror. Horror in terms of a D&D campaign is in you are way out of your depth and you'll never really measure up to a lot of threats you're fighting. Definitely made me a weirdo in high school, but I like being a weirdo, so it worked out in the end. I could definitely appreciate that. Man, I remember talking to a friend in India after Kobe died. The dude lived in the opposite side of the planet from the man, but he was real crusty to hear the news nonetheless. Yep. Sports is important to a lot of people, and when you become a major figure in sports, oftentimes you can have a worldwide brand. Absolutely. Golden Grove. Do I need anything from here? No. Nothing there. Nothing there, but I do need to go here. Turn in my quest. Yet that feeling really made me feel good for every little victory you managed in that game. Chicago, Giordano's or Malnati's. So, I'm partial to Giordano's. I'll always be partial to Giordano's because my father was actually a professor at DePaul. And he used to take us downtown when we were kids, and there's a Giordano's right across the street. So oftentimes my father, when he would take us up with him, we would all go to Giordano's and sit together and have salad and pizza for lunch. And then he'd take us back in the office and we were allowed to like get on the computers and do different things while he was handling whatever teaching duties he had. So I'm always going to be partial to Giordano's. They got a special place for me. But I actually live on the west side now. And of course, Malnati's is king over here. So I have grown to really appreciate Malnati's in a way that I did not before I actually lived on this side of town. No other game I have played has really captured that feeling like you were rebelling against the system as well. Interesting. Okay. I am looking forward to Dragonfall. Pray to Hylia. We did all this. I seek an audience with Hylia. Yeah, we did all this before. Whistle to the bird. Yep. I really can't stand birds. Oh, okay, cool. I think this is new. A breeze ripples through the air. The limbs sway, creaking with a strange, gentle rhythm. A few hundred other birds flit from their branches, forming a brilliantly variegated flock in front of the tree. As they meet and swoop in unison, you catch a glimpse of someone looking back at you, cloaked by the flurry of feathers. Watcher, I believe we stand in the legendary court of birds. She closed her eyes and raised her face to the sky. I feel a presence, warmth, and hope.
You journeyed to my temple and found the dragon. Yet instead of driving it off, you allowed it to stay. The songs of my faithful will never again fill the nest. And the beast and her young will slaughter many to feed their hunger.
Lore, the dragon sought shelter for her young. Are you not also the goddess of motherhood?
And even in a creature so fierce, you find tenderness. Your long journey has revealed a compassionate and generous heart, Watcher. There is something else I would ask of you.
The mass flock wheels around the temple. I'm listening. The birds return to the tree and nestle amongst their peers. The breeze ripples through the branches again, carrying the goddess's voice.
You must stop Theos, and you must undo the tragedy he has wrought.
The grieving mother rocks on her feet. There's a way, Watcher. There's hope yet. Birds all over the tree begin to chirp and sing, and in the rise and fall of their voices, Hylia speaks. Theos acts but is moved by another. The exiled queen whispers in his ear, urges him to rob the living and the unborn of their souls for her benefit, and he has obeyed. A hawk shifts on his perch. She will consume them, grow powerful while 1,000 empty children are born. But there is still time to reverse this tragedy. Couldn't you stop Theos on your own? All of the gods, even Wodoka, are bound by an oath. We sing one harmony, and kids sing another. And though we may introduce a new melody in hopes that mortal ears will hear it and sing it back, we do not interrupt their chorus. To do so would unleash a cacophony between the gods, one that would overwhelm our song and yours. The breeze whips leaves around your ankles while the birds coo, but Wodoka sings her tune to Theos. I would likewise sing mine to you. It sounds like Theos has collaborated with her for a long time. You know already that he has lived many lives. In each, it has been her voice in his ear, guiding him to serve her ambitions, urging him to protect her interest. Allah's expression falls. This is what the leaden key has been? For centuries? The melody of the birds grows mournful, and each of his lives has been one stanza after another in a song of devotion to the oath binder. Why would Wodoka do this? A pair of eagles shriek because she prizes authority over mercy, laws over kith. She values the souls of mortals not for the beauty they create, but for what they can add to her power. The wind blows cold. She fears animancy. She believes that mortals may use it to usurp the gods' power, her power. She cares nothing for the innovation of kith, and how could she? She gives commands, not inspiration. How could I return things to the way they were? The bird suddenly falls silent, watching you. The voice on the wind returns. Guide the trapped souls back to the bodies they were stolen from, hollow-born children whose eyes have never seen the sun. The grieving mother claps her hands together, and the chimes toll like funeral bells. Would it truly be mercy? Even while it might dry the tears of parents, mothers and fathers who tended their children, sheltered them, it would confine children to half-grown bodies their souls have never known, bodies ravaged by years of confinement, the cruel salvation, worse. You could restore them, give their families hymns of joy after years of lament. The breeze tickles your ear. Peace and restoration give purpose to suffering. There's no meaning, no redemption in pain that does not lead to fulfillment. Symmetry demands that great rejoicing follow suffering such as this. I'm not sure that it's possible to truly undo the harm Theos has caused. You hear the cry of a swift, soft, and plaintive. Perhaps the years cannot be forgotten, and for some, perhaps it is already too late. But if you could restore even one soul, kindle one spark of life, raise one voice in joy, it would be worth it. There's another side to this. His tone is cautious. You've seen the consequences of a soul disjointed from its own cycle. Could these children ever truly return? Perhaps it would be better to allow these souls to find new lives. Would that we could heal their souls, their scars as well. The years of suffering cannot be undone and may weigh heavily on their lives. Yes, this is the difficult mercy. How can they continue to another when they have not fully lived this life? To pass them along to another now is cutting a stanza from a poem, a verse from a song. Thank you, Hylia. I will continue the sun and shadow.
When you reach the burial isle, you will find souls there that I have granted reprieve for their sins. I give these to you, for only they can bear you to safety on your journey down. And when you face Theos and the rotting fruits of his endeavors, remember the conversation we have had. In that moment you will have power rivaling a god's. And after it, you will live in the world that you have chosen. Choose Restoration, Watcher. Return the souls to the bodies they were stolen from. Swear to me that you will do this, and I shall give you power to make even Woodica quake. I can be merciful and terrible, Watcher.
While this is the hope I once held to, I now see it as false mercy, an extension of suffering. Snatching these souls from their lives with Theos' crime. Let us not add to it by snatching them from their natural cycles. I would hear what the other gods have to say first.
Wait, I'm not done with you.
Birds wheel and pivot, showing a flash of pale feathers. Who is this that speaks in anger? You owe Pallegina some answers. There is a pause as the birds settle on the branches and regard Pallegina. Questions flutter and circle in our mind. Let her ask what she will.
It's not often that any of our kind get the chance to speak to their... What should I call you? My mother? Father? Those words seem to fall short and yet be too generous, given our history.
The birds cock their heads, craning and twisting their necks to look at one another. You are angry with me.
What did you expect? Should I be happy? To be like this? To live like this? What kind of creator does this to her creation and abandons it in a world this cruel?
And should I have plucked you from your home, wrapped you in my wings, and brought you to a nest like this one? Some tranquil and harmonious place, far from the war chants and battle dances you love so well? A hawk shivers, ruffling its feathers. Tell me what you want.
All I've ever wanted from any of your kind is to take some responsibility. Any responsibility for what you've done. To us. To every one of the children you've abandoned.
The birds flap their wings, rising from the branches. You are a song of ferocity, and one I love well. I hear your furor and rage, and it is music. Your prowess and valor leave a trail like a tapestry upon the world. I would not dampen your song, even with the comfort of my wings.
What does that mean? Come back here!
There is no response. Pallegina's fists clench in frustration. I'm sorry you didn't get the answers you were looking for, Pallegina. You deserve better.
We all deserve better.
Her shoulders slump in resignation. Nice. Let's see. We captured that feeling at Daily Girl who just wore all sorts of Kobe merchandise. We broke up over friends. When she learned that he died, she was absolutely devastated. Yep. Yeah, man, goods either way, and just made myself hungry. Yeah, Giordano's Pizza will, thinking about it, will do that to you. My family believe all stories contain value no matter the medium, books, movies, games, etc. I fell in love with games, then books, and anime. They made sure we were mature enough for the content. Yeah, that definitely wasn't the perspective of my father. He felt like video games rots the mind. Any tips for making good deep dish? I haven't been able to be in the Windy City in years, but I've never scratched a Giordano's pizza itch. No idea. I've never even attempted it. We were supposed to, though. This scene is making me sick. I won't throw it so it's good, but the colors and the chaos. I've never had a Chicago style pizza, but it seems unique enough that I respect it. The New York style of pizza just seems like an objectively worse version of good Italian pizza to me, though. I agree. Especially as someone who's actually been to Rome and tasted authentic Italian pizza. Chicago, Italy, Chicago, and then everybody else. Might just be that we don't get proper New York pizza here, though. Some places try it. No, New York pizza is just big. It's just big and cheap. You give $5 and they give you a big, huge slice. They don't really focus on quality. In Chicago, the pizza is more expensive, but we actually focus on quality. I feel that I've always been one to try not to judge food without tasting it. Buddy took me to a pizza place with a pie that had pepperoni, coffee grounds, and honey on top. Wow, where was that at? But man, those ingredients sound disgusting on paper. As long as it doesn't have an exoskeleton. Nothing with an exoskeleton gets near my mouth, what anyone says. You just chose Hialeah. No, I did not. I was very careful to make sure that, no, I'm going to check out the other gods. Because, like I said before, we're sticking with Barath. How about octopus or squid? I think I've tried squid before, but I've never had octopus. Avoid octopus because they are too smart. Squid is good stuff, though. What are your thoughts on the enhanced edition for Raft? Do you think it is deserving of the title or underwhelming? I think it's underwhelming, which is why I haven't done any enhanced edition specific content. Like, it's basically a patch. Just like not trying to down anybody, but just from my perspective, it's just a patch. It's not like this crazy thing that enhanced the game. So I'm glad that, Durant's can talk now. Awesome. I'm glad that console players finally get the game. That's the big, huge thing. But, I'm not going to do content specifically for that, Plus, part of it probably also is I was gone when it came out. So it already been out for a week by the time I got back. That made me even less motivated. So I'm working on some more long form content for Pathfinder, but it's not enhanced edition specific. I like Pallegina, but don't agree with 90% of what she does. But I like how stalwart her character is. I'm a fan of Pallegina. In fact, I feel like her personality and character is really, really cool. I just don't like the faction she's aligned with. Like the Valians, I'm never interested in really aligning myself with them. So it absolutely doesn't deserve it. It's like a thin coat of paint, honestly. All of the enhanced stuff could be just one patch with no name. Basically. Like, still love the game and whatnot. Still looking forward to what else they do, but it doesn't feel like an enhanced edition, being completely honest with you. Like, the change they did make, like with the pets being underneath your profile and some of the bug fixes, that's all welcome, but yeah. I'm not doing any enhanced edition specific stuff. In fact, a lot what I'm really going to be working on now is all stuff regarding the classes so that we can have more discussion about that. You stand once again before the Shrine of Galawain and the Hound's Head constellation, which marks the pedestal. From time to time, you hear a low, rumbling sound, like a growl. You kneel, prepared for the shift this time. The cool stone gives way to warm soil, soft and loomy. The candle smoke dissipates, replaced by the musk of the forest. The hound howls from the foliage. I've come to seek Galawain's favor. The howling beast falls silent, and you hear the rustling in the foliage nearby. Something is watching you. Howl back. Something leaps from the bushes nearby. You find yourself pinned on your back and staring into the amber eyes of a massive hound. The beast looks at you. Gleaming fangs protrude from the sides of its mouth. Its nose twitches as it inhales your scent, staring at your shoulder and proceeding down the length of your arm. You follow its nose to your hand, which is covered in blood. A tongue as red and meaty as a steak lolls out of its mouth and swipes your bloody hand. Its lips curl into what looks like a smile. The beast looks back at you, and as it fixes you with its glowing eyes, its muzzle retreats into a long bearded face, and its pointed ears lengthen, dropping to the sides of his head. What was a massive hound becomes a giant of a man, his broad, muscled shoulders draped with furs. He holds a flint knife to your neck and grins, revealing a row of long, pointed teeth. That's one way to make an introduction, I suppose.
The lioness reigns still, and soon her cubs will rise. Why did you strike the bear down?
The lioness have. If Orinus could not seize his victory, he did not deserve it.
Worthiness is proven in conflict. Might grappling with might. Flesh tears, bones break, and the ones that mend are stronger still. Blood mixes, and the worthier substance rises to the top. And you have proven worthy.
He lets out a howl that rings through the air. He lowers his head, puffs out steam rising from his panting mouth. Twigs crunch and branches snap. The ground shivers under the weight of pacing, prowling footsteps. A dozen beasts, bears, wolves, and long-fanged cats, stalk out of the undergrowth, their matching amber eyes fast on you. Some of them look real soft. I bet I could tame one or two. As the beasts encircle you, their master rises to his feet. Even the largest of the bears can only reach his browned and muscled knotted shoulders. You stand, mindful of the ring of predators surrounding you.
You sought and won the favor of Gallowayne. What new prey do you now pursue?
I must stop Theos from feeding thousands of souls to Wodoka. A sudden blast of heat scalds your face, and even as you turn away, a flash of light sears your vision through your eyelids. When you look back, you see a woman in full plate standing next to Gallowayne. Woo! I didn't remember that. Margaret herself shows up? Whoa!
So you know. No doubt one of the others has already enlisted you, and with a different purpose. Nevertheless, hear us.
Track Theos. Follow the trail he has left for you, and corner him in sun and shadow.
You must stop him before he empowers Woodica.
And if you do, you will have a different decision to make.
Abaddon. And if you believe you are free to make that decision how you wish it, you have not been listening to our conversations along the road.
Souls were ripped from the world, ripe and full and pulsing with essence. Scatter them like bones to a pack of dogs. Their essence will strengthen the souls of the Deerwood. Let the remains of the dead feed the survivors.
Why would I feed the lost soul's essence to the rest of the Deerwood?
To breed strength. Power is born from the mixing of essence and blood.
The wolves snarl and snap.
What Theos did cannot be undone. Thousands of lives have changed, and thousands more have ended because of his actions. But transformation gives purpose to trial.
And improvement is the goal of all Kith. Long lives, prosperous futures, stronger minds and bodies. Strengthening those who remain will help repair the damage that Theos has done to the Deerwood.
If Wodoka can accomplish this, then perhaps she deserves her victory. The bear at Gallowayne's side rises on his hind legs and roars. It falls back on all fours with a ground-shaking thud. Gallowayne points his chipped flint dagger at you.
A victory that leaves her ruler of all. No room for conflict, no struggle, not even between the gods.
Be careful what you wish for, mortal. Woodica's ways are regressive. Her laws never change, her authority never ebbs, and she never forgets a slight.
Woodica would crush the Deerwood simply out of vengeance for the rebellion against Adir, her favorite. She would stamp out Animancers, Godslayers from the Saints' War, and anyone else she viewed as heretical or dangerous.
It'd be justice for the purges to see some of the persecutors face her wrath, but not the right kind of justice, not the kind that heals. Now I've got to find Theos.
And when you descend the pit to sun in shadow, you can count on our assistance to see you safely through. As I hope we can count on yours when you reach the bottom. There are many souls upon the burial isle that are sworn to serve us. They belong to you now, and they shall guide your descent.
Durance's face is grave. Beware the promises of a god, Watcher. They are binding, but only in one direction. The beasts grow restless, pawing the ground and crying and eyeing you with renewed interest. The bear sniffs at the ground next to your leg. One Stelgar skulks into the circle, its amber eyes glowing. Galawain hurls his knife between your feet, sinking it to its handle. He raises his empty hand.
Hunt him, mortal. And when you stop him, let the souls he has captured feed the deer wood.
Strengthen the souls of those who remain. Prepare them to face the challenges that will follow. Pledge that you will do this, and we will grant you a power fit for the finest warrior who ever lived.
Betray us, and my beasts shall track you down. Our allegiance is not to be accepted and cast aside.
I would hear what the other gods have to say first.
Consider and calculate, but decide.
Galawain's hands falls, and the growling pack lunges into the circle. The vision vanishes in an instant, returning you to Ter Evron, where burning candles replace the glowing eyes of Galawain's beast. The old queen and the new king. Definitely agree on loyalty and noise. Yeah, I waited to play it after the release date was announced, specifically the Devil Path, but it looked like most of what was hinted at or data mine was cut. Very disappointing. I feel like Season 2 and 3 DLC could be bought and then finally a new enhanced edition. Then you would have new significant content to dig into. So I imagine 1.5 year wait. Yep, that's what I'm thinking as well. Yeah, that's a huge wait. The few months I waited felt like a long time, but I stumbled on this channel in the meantime to get more knowledge on the game, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad that you did too. It's good to have you, Stubbs. Makes me want to try out Pillars of Eternity. I tried it right after finishing Tyranny, and I just felt clunky and it got set aside. Story looks interesting, even if I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, Pillars of Eternity is definitely going to feel clunky if you play Tyranny first. Of course, Tyranny is a much more modern game, so there's just a lot of systems there that aren't present here. But like you can already see, the story is fantastic in Pillars of Eternity. Really enjoy the party members as well. The storylines that they have, I feel like, are very, very well done. Definitely think it's worth your time playing this game. And the sequel, Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, which I'll start playing right after we finish this, that is fantastic. That's much more modern, and I feel like it's much more comparable to what you've probably seen in Tyranny. Yeah, Devil Pass was, you could have been the guy that people go to for packs. That would have been awesome. It's crazy to me you can't get people to sign any contracts as a devil. Like, to me, that should just be obvious. That should be obvious that you should be the guy who could do this. As the snowstorm gets closer, you see an aurochs, as colossal and slow as a glacier. Its shaggy white hair is matted with frost, but beneath it, ribs like a ship's frame protrude. A man, emaciated and almost naked, huddles at the beast's legs. His body is scored with lash marks, and his nose and ears have been carved from his face. His black eyes pierce the whiteout. Aleph leans forward. By the wheel, it's Skein. The Ark stops and stands before you, enveloping you in the violent blizzard that surrounds it. Though its mouth does not move, the beast speaks in a deep, thunderous voice.
A clan of Glamfelin ventured from the white that wends to find the crack in the ice. When you sealed it, you damned their souls to a slow weathering here, one they had sought to escape.
This was what your vision directed.
A fitting reply from an obedient servant. You seek always the correct answer, like a solution to a riddle.
For each there is a season, Watcher. Winter's shroud covers all things in its time. The heat and energy of life dissipates, and untethered essence fades into chaos. But entropy is a chisel of ice and a hammer of wind. It is not for mortals to wield these tools.
The world shudders beneath you, and a great cracking echoes across the white expanse. The ice splits at your feet, waves lapping through the rift.
The Watcher seeks something long lost. What is it you search for?
the thousands of souls that Theos has stolen for Wodoka.
Theos has removed these souls from the cycle. They are ice melting in the sun. Let them fade.
Let them forget this world and be forgotten by it.
Take the souls she so desires and grind them into dust. Let her see her careful schemes thoroughly ruined.
That last one sounded a little nastier than the other two. For several seconds, the waves washed quietly against the ice, and the Ark stands silently amidst the churning furies.
It is the destiny of all things to crumble and join the chaos that follows this world. Some seek it willingly, as you have seen.
To mingle, roiled and stirred by the tides of the universe. It is not an unkind fate.
Why do you oppose Wodoka?
She desires to order chaos and shackle the agents of change in the world. Under her, all things would remain static and frozen according to her laws.
Even now, she only barely keeps the pact of the gods to leave the affairs of Kith in mortal hands. She moves in Theos where she cannot move directly.
And so we call on you to do the same. Such are the schemes of the Queen that was.
You would give these souls the very fate you sought to deny the Glamfellan pilgrims.
I am the beast of winter. I neither speed nor alter my path for the whims and desires of Kith. I take souls at the time of my choosing, be it mote by mote or in a sudden tempest of chaos.
These souls, they have already forgotten their place in this world. They have been lost to existence. Let them be memorialized and mourned for an age and then forgotten entirely.
I'll seek Theos in sun and shadow.
When you reach the burial isle, we will send lost souls to guide you through the pit. This is our gift to you. What you do after you face Theos will be your choice, but we would have you set the stolen essence adrift.
And whether you would heed us or no, understand that our end comes to all things eventually. Help us achieve it, and we shall reward you now with a power to rival Theos's.
But do not choose lightly. We forget nothing, least of all a betrayal.
I would hear what the other gods had to say first.
Do not wait forever. We wait, but Theos does not.
Remagan continues towards you, swallowing you in a blinding, deafening snowstorm. You experience a dizzying exhilaration, disorientation, oblivious to the landscape around you and even the reality of your own body. You hear a noise that could be the shrieking winds or Skane's screeching cackle, and then it recedes with everything else. Remagan reappears in the distance, trudging away from you, and the whiteout follows him. As the vision of snow fades, it leaves in its wake the flagstones of Tir Evron. Epic! Yeah, that should be an obvious thing, like you uniting dragonkind into a dragon fight, getting unique weapons they are holding on to. Perhaps you uniting dragons to protect mortal kind. That's just off the top of my head. Idea that doesn't happen. I like Skane. He feels the same way about the gods as I do. Skane is awesome in the sequel as well. As you pray to Barath, you again find yourself on the road. Squinting into the distance, you see a short, pale figure waiting for you. At first, you think it's another vision of Archdruid Reshton, but then you notice the figure's skeletal frame and rictus grin. He stands in front of another skull gate, but the way leads down, not onward. He beckons for you to approach. That must be the usher, Allah's voice is low. Behind you is a woman, her skin milk pale against her black hair. She wears a suit of armor so dark it seems to suck the light from the stars. The road winds up a mountain behind her.
A toll, traveler.
And the pallid night. Pay the pallid night. You drop a few coppers into her hand as she closes her fist around the coins. You instantly feel a small weight added to your purse. The lord of this road demands a toll of all, but he lends generously that all might travel his road again. Behind her, the usher grins his lipless smile and waits. The road bores into the mountain, and you find yourself in a gigantic cavern. The ceiling curves up and away, and is dotted with moisture. At this distance, the shining beads look like stars, clustered and scattered in constellations. The usher and the pallid knight lead you up a trail carved into the edge of the cavern. Two identical cave mouths wait up ahead, and you follow the usher to one of them. Standing at the edge and gazing down, you see an endless, ever-changing plain bisected by a road. Only then do you realize that you are no longer on the road. As you follow the road to the point where it disappears below you, you realize that you're standing in one of the eye sockets of a massive skull. The usher points to the road. Archdruid Reshton appears below you. He's just as you remembered him, stern and smooth-skinned. Yet with each step along the road he grows, swelling with blood and essence. His heavy steps become slower and slower until he stops altogether. His distended body fills the path completely.
You met a dwarf traveling this road. What did you do?
He had lived many centuries. I brought him a new life. The pallid knight's flesh is taut against her skull. She nods once, barely dipping her chin.
Ever merciful, even when blood is shed. In this way, death is the agent of life.
As Reshton's swollen body ruptures, the effect is like a dam bursting. Ghostly figures as hazy as indistinct as wisps of smoke continue along the cleared path. Some tumble and rush along, while others amble and drift, but all continue forward. The usher directs your attention to another figure moving down the path. This time, you see high ovate Arona. As she follows the road, her movements become slow and erratic. Her legs creak with each step, and her feet grow long, thick roots that burrow into the ground. She finally stops, rooted in place.
You found a tree that had lived for centuries. Its roots were deep, and its boughs sheltered many. Why did you cut it down?
It was unnatural. It couldn't sustain itself.
Nothing is self-sustaining. All draw their life's energy from the deaths of others. This is why all must remain part of the cycle of death and rebirth.
Arona's body petrifies below, and the shimmering leaves of her hair blow down the path. You seek another who has lived his lives on the brink of the cycle. He sits on the inside of the wheel, observing his revolutions. With each life, he is plucked from the stream and returned to it intact. Why do you hunt Theos? Theos has entrapped thousands of souls for Wodoka. I've got to stop him from giving her an absolute power.
If you know this much, then another god has already spoken with you, and given you half of the answer.
Theos serves Wodoka. She desires an escape from her own cycle, power without decline. Theos has removed thousands of souls from the cycle so that their essence might empower her. The black depths of her eyes threaten to swallow you. You must stop him, and you must return them to the cycle. What end would it serve to send the souls back into the cycle? Attending to these souls is a question of stability, Watcher, of maintaining the natural order of the world and the ebb and flow of essence. Couldn't they be returned to Hollowborn? As battered, burdened things, do you mix soured wine with fresh? The kindness you seek lies in giving them a new beginning, not in shackling them to this life. If Theos has meddled with these souls, perhaps it would be better to destroy them. The cycle is merciless, but it is not wasteful. Time and the endless procession of rebirths eventually grind souls into dust, but until then, they must pass from the world and return to it. The continuing movement advances the cycle itself. Cycles are changeless and monotonous. Surely there's a better alternative. The illusion of revolution, it is merely part of another cycle, and a painful one. True change has structure, geometry. It is the product of cycles within cycles, 1,000 gears spinning and moving the universe by degrees. What's wrong with Wodoka seizing this power? The cycle of Kith is a thing of balance. Likewise is the cycle of gods. We rise and fall in the favor of mortals, only to fall and rise again. But Wodoka seeks the power to place herself outside this cycle. She would root herself and grow to the detriment of others. The usher silently gestures to the road, where a broken tree and a husk of flesh are still visible. I think I understand what you're telling me. The usher gestures to the road, and the starry expanse beyond, while the pallid night speaks. I only show you the motion of the universe, Watcher. I think it's kind of strange, considering the fact that Barath is one of the most important deities in the sequel game, that it seems like out of all the gods, she has the least voice acting here. Why does Wolf? I don't see what this has to do with me. Theos builds a dam to divert water from a stream. The flow of thousands of souls will shape the world you live in, Watcher. It will also shape the world your soul returns to in its next lives. Why does Wodoka even need Theos' help? And why do you need mine for that matter? The gods guide souls through the cycle of death and rebirth, but Eor is the domain of mortals. We stand aside, weights and counterweights. We are one to alter the tides of Kith, all would follow. We would tip this world from its axis. This is why Wodoka directs a mortal to do her bidding, and why anyone who would stop Theos must be mortal as well. I must go to Sun and Shadow now.
No mortal can survive the descent into the pit. But there are souls on the burial isle that are pledged to me. I will grant them to you, and they shall bear you down safely, as well as light the way beyond.
A multitude appears at the other end of the road, raising their voices and kicking up dust as they make their way toward you. Return them to the cycle, Watcher. Promise that you will, and I shall give you power befitting a champion of death. The pallid knight raises a finger. Accept my favor, however, and I will demand this decision as your due. I collect from all mortals in time. I promise to return the souls to the cycle. So be it, Watcher. Do not forget your promise. The usher reaches out and places a bony hand on your forehead. His touch overwhelms you, and you feel yourself expand. Blinded, you reach out, only to find another grasping hand of the same size and shape as yours reaching back. Baras boom. When at last you open your eyes again, you are standing in Tir Evron, filled with Baras power. And there we have it. Still not a level up. Come on now. Seriously? And Council of Stars still exists. All right. What does Baras Boon give us? +1 resolve, +5 defense against petrified and paralyzed attacks. Come on now. That's the great boon that I got. Well, I tell you. What was your favorite origin story in Dragon Age Origins? Human Noble. That story of revenge. I know a story of revenge is so typical, but I still absolutely loved it. I felt like they did a great job setting it up. And it gave you so many more options towards the end. Like if you were female, you could marry Alistair. Y'all could rule the lands together, or you could become king yourself. Like, I like the diversity of options. If I had to pick a second place option, probably the dwarf noble. I think what they did regarding dwarf politics and dwarven culture in Dragon Age is incredible. Everything about the dwarves is just absolutely fantastic. Personally, the only one I didn't like was the Dalish one. City Elf was my personal pick. Yeah, I feel like Dalish Elf was particularly weak, and City Elf was brutal and amazing. I agree on the Dalish story. It just felt very lackluster in comparison to City Elf. Or my personal favorite, Dwarf Noble. Yep, Dwarf Noble is definitely one of the top ones. Who puts a door in front of people's faces in the middle of the night? Don't do that. It's so rude. They didn't think of that in advance. Hoping we get a very condensed story like that for Dragon Age 4. Smaller zones with a tight story instead of a large MMO feel. We can only hope, man. We can only hope. It would definitely be a nice return to form. I'm still stewing over the fact I couldn't hide I was a blood mage. I have
What
questions.
do you wish to know
Nope.
until we meet?
They don't have anything to say. That's fine. Okay, let me check this real quick. Oh, right. We need to talk to Durant's. Yep. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. Now we're gonna go back Oh, actually. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on? Stop right there.
Stop right there.
The Phantom.
You're in the wrong city, Inquisitor. Did you think you wouldn't be recognized here in your old home? I've seen your trials with my own eyes.
I have seen you light pyres with good people tied to them, people I'd known many a year. He seizes you by the throat and your airway tightens. Whether real or imagined, you cannot tell. They deserve your confession. He raised the point of his sword, holding it a hair's breadth from your eye.
Suros, what are you doing?
Startled, the soldier releases you immediately and turns to face the speaker, a woman in a plain wool tunic, fully a head shorter than he, but somehow seeming to tower over him. You have seen this woman's face before, but from afar, bloodied and burned as she lay stretched across an iron wheel. At the moment, it is marked only with concern.
An assassin sent by the Inquisition, my lady, daring to approach our camp.
If he is so poor an assassin as to approach an armed guard in daylight, I should have nothing to fear. I would hear what this man has to say. She stares him down until he can no longer face her. He turns away, sour-faced, watching you through sidelong glances, his knuckles white around the pommel of his sword.
My own brother returned home. I never dreamed this day would come.
Grand Inquisitor Theos dispatched me here to spy on you. Eovora doesn't blink. Are things as desperate as that over there? I'd never have known. I hope your next assignment is more stimulating. Listening to my lectures is dull work for a spy. But there are a few things stronger than the bonds of family. I should never have doubted we'd be reunited one day. Whatever your reasons, I've missed you over all these years. Having you here now, at a time when I'm surrounded by strangers, is a wonderful gift. I would like for you to stay.
I would like for you to stay here in our camp as my guest.
My lady Eovora, I beg of you. This is an Inquisitor. This is a desperate attempt on your life. The only way it can succeed is if you allow it to.
This is a missionary, same as I was. Taught the wrong things as I was. If I can't have faith in one man's ability to reason, once he knows the truth, what hope do we have?
My lady, he admits being a spy.
That should make him less of a threat, wouldn't you agree? I have nothing to hide. All I see here is an opportunity to persuade someone who could help us. We have many former missionaries here. They are our most loyal, our most helpful. Many have died for us. These are not people we should be turning away. And if the Inquisition wants my life, they can have it. But they know as well as I do that my cause will not die with me. Come, we have much to talk about.
Interesting. All right. Now it's time to head to the burial grounds. Wait, why do I have 4 updates? Expires in 1 day. Assign. Yeah, you can do that. There we go. Doors are good stuff. Barras seems cool. That boon, yeah, that boon was kind of whack. First, to be honest, I haven't picked it up for free. Tips of races. So, tips. Pillars of Eternity. Really, any build, any combination will work. It's not like Wrath of the Righteous, where it's really, really easy to screw yourself over to the point you've created a build where it's virtually unusable. Like in Pillars of Eternity, as long as you're consistent, you'll be fine. So if you want to be a damage dealer, then just consistently choose things that are going to help you do damage. If you want to be defensive, consistently choose things that are defensive, and you'll be fine. You don't really, unless you plan to play that like the hardest level, you don't have to min-max it. Like as far as classes, I feel like one of the cool things is that the class you play kind of gives you different dialogue options and might change how you play from a role-playing standpoint, not just from a combat standpoint. So one of the reasons why I picked Cypher is because I really, really like playing Cypher in this game. There are a bunch of times where in conversation, they'll give you Cypher specific options so that everybody knows that, hey, you're able to peer into minds. And considering your powers as a watcher in the overall Watcher story, being a Cypher kind of just fits everything like a glove and it just feels right to me. The other really cool thing here is being priest. When you're a priest, you have to stick very, very strongly to a particular alignment. So it kind of forces you to role play in a particular way. You are actually punished very harshly if you end up picking a bunch of dialogue choices that are not in line with the kind of alignment that your character is supposed to have. So I think that's really cool as well. The fact that they really, really push you into actually role playing this the way it's supposed to be. And so if you like those type of playthroughs, that can be really nice as well. I think Paladin has a similar setup as well. Like depending on what order you pick, I think you might have to, you know, kind of toe the line. But there's just a bunch of different options, and honestly, you can't go wrong. There's a bunch of different options, bunch of different weapons, bunch of different armor, bunch of different artifacts. So whatever build it is you're trying to look for, more than likely you can set it up and you can at least make it somewhat effective as long as you're choosing a regular middle of the ground difficulty and not going for Path of the Damned. All of this goes out the window if you're trying to play Path of the Damned. But if you're doing that, you're going to have to look online and look at builds. Oh, also, word of advice. Don't be listening to Dagon. I think you already know that, though. Dagon will lead you to the path of destruction. All right. We are going. So next is the Burial Island. So, but for, oh, I want to speak to Durance first, though, and see if we can finally close out his quest line. My goodness, these guys didn't skip mental gymnastics day. Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to the end, man. Killed the bear first try a year ago when I tried to get into the game. But then Wrath of the Righteous dropped the next week, and the rest is history. Nice. I never had it in me. As soon as I saw that bear, I was like, nope, I'm going to chill. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to circle back to this later.
What is it, Watcher?
Does what we learned about Wodaka trouble you?
It stinks of her. It is justice, but if her greater purpose was to think Margaret would fall prey to such deceit. And Aethys. Widewin had always claimed to be invading Deerwood to free it. What if it were true? What if he had come to stop Woodaka's plot before it began?
I don't think there's any time-gated events in Pillars of Eternity. Not that I can think of, no.
Surely Aethys earned his death at Godhammer Citadel, but not for those reasons. Not to keep him silent. If such a thing has brought about this chaos.
Durance tilts his head as if listening to an inner voice. Then he frowns, the frown deepening as he speaks.
Must we always be tools of gods? If Woodaka and Margrin, if they are the cause of this, the Hollowborn, if the purges were never necessary, if Aethys was fighting back,
then your Godhammer didn't save Deerwood. It doomed it.
So many lies. And Woodaka, perhaps she is the next god to fall beneath the Godhammer.
Would it have been better had you been spared this knowledge?
No, I am glad to have walked this far with you, seen this truth. Perhaps it was what I was meant to see, with a watcher's eyes. All these dances of words and intrigues, machines of men, twisted, ripping the souls of children, and by the gods, the goddess of justice. If I could end her like Aethys, Margrin burned her once. One can do so again. Woodaka, she must answer to her own justice.
Justice or revenge?
Anyone with a shred of spirit seeks both justice and punishment. It burns in the heart of anyone who lives. All seek it. If the world does not balance, we all drown in the oceans. And the gods would not care. Margrin, she must be redeemed. And punishing Woodaka, that will serve.
Margaret was allied with Wodoka. She tried to kill all the makers of the God Hammer.
Is this some final joke at my expense? To test my faith further? And why would you think that, Watcher?
The others who made the God Hammer, they all died, didn't they? That's why I saw their symbols fade from your staff.
If all you have are questions, then I have enough of those. She is a bitch of a goddess, to be sure, but even a whore only goes so far in crossing those she serves.
You said you left Ashfall without telling anyone of your departure?
You answer a question with a question. Then why did I feel her disappointment at Halgot? Why were we shamed?
Because I think she tried to kill you there.
Kill me? She is a goddess. I still drink from her burning breasts, Watcher. If she wished me dead, she could trace me to my source and kill me.
In the dream of the God Hammer, your spirit looked blurred, indistinct in the light, as if it had been sheared from you. Duran stares at you, his expression frozen, but he's silent, listening. If you had been damaged, as I saw in the God Hammer vision, then she may be unable to see you as you once were. Durance turns from you for a moment, his face twists in thought, conflicting emotions running across his features. Finally, he turns to you, his face steady.
There's no proof, Watcher. I was a fool to think you could help me see any farther than I could.
If you don't trust me, then trust your staff. Admit that the other Godhammer builders are dead. Durance turns to the staff, and for a moment, you see his eyes burning, taking in the edges of the wood, the symbols inlaid there, the 11 faded circles.
They died in the blast, yes. The other 11. I was the only one to walk away. I thought we had wronged our goddess. That this was my trial, and if I could prove myself worthy of her, I should have known better. There is only one God of redemption, and I saw him ended.
As he studies the staff, you feel a wave of heat, a terrible energy rolling forth from it in waves, so much so it feels as if the Godhammer itself is alive in his hands. And past it, you hear a cry, like a child being born, and your eyes feel the flash of white, then 100 imagined shades of purple and white, streaming and circling into the howling of a storm, and beneath it, the grinding of ancient machines of stone, rock, and metal, grinding and turning until all around you feels as if it is burning, sinking into the shadows of the earth, beneath the ground, the only place where a spirit might find refuge. When your vision clears, you see Durance, his hands clutching the staff, and his eyes are bright, burning red. Atop the staff, the flame burns cleanly, brightly. As his gaze burns, he rips his gaze away and howls, a bellowing, horrid howl, like a wounded animal, and sweat pours down his brow. We can see that justice is served, to her and Wodoka both.
To think I served her. I followed her. Now I shall serve no one. Woodika's lies must be answered. And now it seems I must take fire and war from a goddess's false claim as well. I still take from her strength as I did, for as long as it lasts. For I shall not cast her aside yet, until I have drained her dry and had my fill, just as she intended for me. For I have learned one of the lessons of the faithful. The faithful may wound a goddess greater than any enemy. A purification is coming, and this fire shall consume them both.
Let's continue on. And completed. There we go. Just to be sure. Questions?
If doubts and curiosity play.
Margaret. Nope. Okay. Nothing special. Cool. Excellent. So yeah, Durance is great. His voice actor is absolutely fantastic. That was an awesome end to his quest line. Great, great stuff. What's your favorite video you've made? Like any that you're just really pleased with how they turned out? So it's always so I kind of make two kinds of videos, right? I make the entertaining videos, the voice acting ones, where oftentimes I'm either showing you some story or making people laugh, or I make like the guides and the builds and the stuff like that, to try to educate people and try to make them feel more comfortable with the game. So I'll give you an example of both. When it comes to the fun ones, like the voice acting ones, the Azada video I did where the Azada meets Camellia, and afterwards he's running through the street screaming at the top of his lungs. I was laughing the whole time I was making that video. Like, I really, really enjoy video when it's making me laugh while I'm even creating it. And I'm almost imagining how people are going to react when they see this. So that's always really fun and cool. And I definitely felt that way when I put that video out. So it's one of my favorites. I felt the same way during the Aeon video, where I did the video I did where he banished Sela, but the conversation before the banishment where he's talking with I forgot what the guy's name is, but basically he talks about all the things he's going to do to the different crusaders to make sure law is established. I was dying laughing while I was recording that. And so that's another example of one I really, really liked. When it comes to guides or like more educational content, I was really, really happy with the way the Mythic ranking video came out. Because honestly, that video and the party member ranking video are very, very different from the vast majority of content that I've done. I try to usually keep my videos very, very like as short as possible, really compact. And it was the first time I had a video that long because, like, that Mythic ranking video is like, what, 50 minutes? And every single second of that video, like, I wanted to make sure it was purposeful, which is much harder to do in that type of video. Like when I'm just recording a scene, I'm just reading the dialogue that's already there. I might cut out parts that I feel like are not necessary, but it's not a whole lot of editing work. It's actually very easy for me to produce that kind of content. But like that 50-minute video, that took a long time for me to be able to put all that stuff together. You've got to write out the script, you've got to record it, you've got to edit the script, you've got to edit all the video in there, and you've got to do it in a way where it at least looks like it's all flowing the way that it's supposed to. So I was really, really happy with the way that came out. And honestly, I've been really, really happy with the response from the community to it. That Mythic ranking video and that party member ranking video are now both in the top 5 most watched videos on my channel, like, period. In fact, I think the party member ranking video is now number 2. Like, the only video on my channel that has more views than that is a 3-minute video I did when Pathfinder first came out about how to get Arushale early. To date, that is my highest ranking video. That video has 95,000 views. When I threw it out there, I was like, all right, a couple of hundred people are going to look at this because they'll probably want this. I had no clue that video would blow up the way that it did. So sooner or later, at some point, that video is going to hit like 100K. It is going to be such a whirlwind for me. But other than that, like both of those videos, ranking videos that I did, those are in top 5, and I'm pretty sure they're going to end up being number 2 and number 3 most watched content on my channel. So really, really happy with what I did there. Okay, too late. Taking my time to explore instead of worrying about failing events. Yep, agreed. Seriously, though, I thought the Rogue and Ranger were a bit of a one-trick pony classes in this game. Yeah, I don't like the Ranger chick, but even though I like archers, I've never been the Ranger type in period. I'm much more of a rogue, to be honest with you. So I didn't even pay attention to that. Kind of weird given how robust Fighter is. Fighters are awesome. But the other thing you have to keep in mind is, can you create a better character than the party member you get? Like, I'll be honest, I picked Cypher because of the story. I love the story stuff, but it's not like I feel like my Cypher is just crazy better than Grieving Mother. Grieving Mother is just a really great Cypher. You're going to be fine. Eder is a fantastic fighter. Like, you can create someone better than him, but not in a way that really, really matters, in my opinion. Again, it's different if you're playing Path of the Damned, but if you're just going to play on normal or something regular, Eder is just as good as any fighter you'll be able to create. Priest, though, you can create a significantly better priest than what Durance is because his stats are all off. Like, he he only has a 10 in dexterity, and that really, really hurts priests. Because with priests, especially when you get to higher levels, you want them just throwing out those buffs, throwing out those powers, and they need the dexterity, the action speed, in order to be able to do that. Since his action speed is rock bottom, he's not going to be able to throw out those buffs at the speed that you would really want him to. So you can create a priest that is significantly better than what Durance is able to really do. But then, of course, you're going to miss out on his sparkling personality. With Olaf, you can create a better spellcaster, but at the end of the day, he has an intelligence of 18. You really want him focused on crowd control anyway. I feel like he's perfectly serviceable. I don't think it makes much sense to create a wizard, honestly, if you plan to have him in your party. Same to a lesser degree with Pallegina. Actually, I'm not really a fan of these spread out stats that she has, so you can actually create a paladin that's much better than what she does. As you can see throughout the game, she's very serviceable, but that's kind of how I look at it when I'm choosing what kind of class I want to play. I say, okay, what party members am I going to use? What are their classes? And then what's missing from that team? Durant's giving me Rasputin vibes. Yeah. I am. Oh, man, those Aeon vids got me wanting to play one next. Yeah. The video was super boom. Bro, the Mythic Ranking video is incredible. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. It's 22. We all love a long format ranking video. Everybody loves Aru. Pretty sure that Arushale video is how I found your channel. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, in fact, let me take a look at this real quick. So, yeah, the Arushale video. Let's see. Do I have a screen for this? Hold on one second. Let me check around here real quick. No, that's ending. Slandered starting screen. What is here? Is this it? There we go. This allows you to see it. So yeah, when you look at it, the Arushale video now has 96,000 views, which is crazy. I don't have anything else that's even remotely close to that. But the party members rank view now is almost at 57,000. The original Mythic Pass rank video is now 54,000, so that's my number 4. But then the new Mythic Pass rank is already shot up to 52,000, and of course it's going to overtake this older video. So those are probably going to end up being number 2 and number 3 on my channel. And then number 5 out of all that is my Ascension Achievement Guide, which it seems like a lot of people enjoyed as well. So, I mean, that's been kind of the interesting thing looking at my channel recently as well. Something I just never realized before is that, like, the voice acting stuff that I do, people like it, people find it funny, and it'll get a lot of views, but it doesn't translate into a lot of subscribers. It doesn't translate into people actually saying, okay, you know what, this is a channel I want to subscribe and make sure I see more of. The guides and the builds and things of that nature, that's what actually gets people to subscribe. So like I've had a huge now shoot up in more subscribers, and it's really because of these 2 videos, because people saw them and were like, okay, you know what, this is content that we really truly value. So it's been interesting. Now, when I get through with this demon playthrough and whatever from the angel playthrough I'll do, when moving forward, I'm going to probably try to have a much greater balance between the longer form content that takes me longer to do and the voice acting stuff that I can just pop out there. I'm not going to focus as much on the voice acting stuff because even though people will watch it, it doesn't generate the loyalty the way I would need in order to actually really grow the channel.
Many blessings, traveler.
Duran is my romance of choice, which is notable because I truly much prefer with Abu is clearly the best girl in rap. A lot of people agree. Yeah, I'm currently making an Aeon Control Mage build, and I'm going to go through Windu's full quest line. Lamb was good, but you got to see everything the game has to throw at you. Yeah, if I'm going to pay $60, $70, I want to see everything that I absolutely can. Good segue into another question. What is your favorite romance across any game? I'd say it's probably a tie between actually, I'm gonna say it's probably a 3-way tie, actually. Yennefer in Witcher Wild Hunt. Um, uh, what's her name? Basila in Knights of the Old Republic, and the nymph in Kingmaker. Those are probably my three favorite, all for different reasons. Basila, I really loved it. That was my first experience with the romance where she's down for you, whether you're evil or good aligned. So I really liked the way that either way, she could be my girl at the end. And that was my first time experiencing that in the game. So I really appreciated that. Yennefer, I liked it because I hate the way, especially in video game mediums, I feel like there's oftentimes a focus on young characters or characters who almost come off as kids. Whereas with Geralt and Yennefer, they're clearly older, they're parents, they're solidified, they're very powerful. So you're seeing these people in the prime of their lives, not little kids trying to figure things out. And so I really appreciated that aspect of the romance. And then for the nymph, I appreciate the one, I really like the ability to be able to turn a major villain to my side and get her to help me go up against the true major villain. I thought that was really cool. And even though I know a lot of people hated it, I actually liked that you had to do so much work and had to have so many things properly aligned in order to actually get her romance to trigger. I thought that was really, really cool. And at some point, when I'm through with Wrath of the Righteous content, I'm gonna swing back over to Kingmaker and I'm gonna do a Kingmaker playthrough, and then I'm gonna do some comparison content. And one of the things I'm gonna talk about is the comparison between Kingdom management and Crusade management. And even though Crusade management is easier, and I feel like it's been streamlined in good ways in a lot of different aspects. One of the things I really miss from Kingdom management is the curses and having to research those curses, and how researching those curses could give you dialogue options in the game and consequently also allow you to be able to pursue that romance. There's nothing like that in Crusade management. You know, you have the stuff where you can research the artifacts. I don't like that. I don't like researching the artifacts in comparison, to be honest with you. I don't like how that system is implemented. I feel like the curses were way better, felt much more ingrained into the story. And so I felt like that aspect of it was much superior. So those are the three romances that I would choose. I built my cipher to be more melee, so it didn't overlap with Mother, but it wasn't really meta. Yeah. I keep seeing people with builds for melee ciphers. I'm not with it. Not that I really care for meta, but it's not path of the damn material. When I found out Windowalk has the same actor as the nymph Narissa and Kingmaker, blew my mind. She's super talented. Super talented. For me, it was Morgan in Dragon Age or Jack in Mass Effect. In both cases, my initial character was female, and I replayed the game as male just to romance them. Yep, those are both great choices. Morgan is absolutely fantastic. That would be good companions. Lantern King ending was a prototype Ascension ending. You need a PhD to figure that out blind. Come on now. Like crazy stuff you have to go through in order to be able to do that properly. But when I did it, man, that feeling of accomplishment, amazing. A thin, ragged man stands waiting on the barge, leaning on the oar. A smile of greeting splits his weathered features. It has been a long time since an outsider saw passage to the burial isle. What is this burial isle? Mass Effect on the brain. Nothing wrong with that. It is a sacred place, for it sits upon the great works of the builders. There, by our ancestors, all our ancestors are laid to rest. Few go there, my friend. It is not a place where the living to walk. Is it dangerous? Dorval nods solemnly. Those I bring to the island return the same way, or else not at all. It is home only to the dead. Spirits, shades of the builders remain, and watch over Anamfatha. They are bound to the island and protected fiercely. Take me across. Dorval inclines his head in acknowledgement. I will. Take care that you do not lose your footing. These waters have a fickle temper. All right. Ashley Williams. Ashley Williams was a great option as well. Awesome. All right, let me save here. And kind of Ascension Lantern King ending World Trade is going to have. It's going to be something incredible, I'm sure. Become an Inquisitor or become a Daemon Prince are the obvious options. I'm looking forward to it. It's hard for me to answer that question since I know nothing about 40K, what do you call it? 40K lore. But when I get through, again, when I get through with Pathfinder stuff, when I get through with Pathfinder stuff, I'm going to start digging into the 40K games. So one of them I'm definitely planning to play is Chaos Gate. I've already downloaded that. All right. It has been almost 3.5 hours, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we've made quite a bit of good progress, but I'm starting to get a little bit tired. I do have to work in the morning, so I think it's a good time for us to go ahead and cut off. I hope all of you all enjoyed the stream. I hope you had a good evening. And I will be back either Friday or Saturday. I'd like to get another streaming session in before Monday. So hopefully, we'll see. You all know. I'll say I'll be there, and then some things happen with my schedule. But I really, really want to get through with this game so that we can go ahead and just jump into Deadfire. If I get my way, I'd like to have both Pathfinder games completed before the end of the year. And that way, when the new year starts, I'll probably want to go ahead and get into Baldur's Gate 2. We'll see how that works out. But for now, I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic night, and I will see you next time. Take care. Take care, Boss Page, Damas, Stubbs, Dagon. Have a good one. Glad you all were able to make the stream. Take care, Marcel. Yeah, you know, I've been doing this for years, man. It's just natural to me. What can I say? It's all good, the boss. No matter how slow I go, we have a good time, and that's what's most important.